What's happening with it? What's good with y'all? Y'all already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. Yeah. Is y'all coming to building? Smash on the like button. Let me know you in the building. The boxing section, TBS. Kyle, I hit you on the Instagram. You got to send me your cash out. But salute to the boxing section, TBS off in the building. Corey Moe off in the building. Yeah, let's, you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about this. We're really going to get into it today. We're going to talk about it for sure. Yes, sir. So like I said, when you come in the building, smash on the like button. Let me know you in the building, and we're going to get into it. Big John, salute. What's happening with it? Yes, sir. We you know what I'm saying? We got to get into it, man. Got to get into it. Terence Crawford, hey, he's everything that they said that he was. So we're going to give him his respect, but we're going to break this shit down. We're going to break it down. Dream Chaser, salute. Mike Ryan, what's happening with it? Cassandra Mason, the queen in the building. What's going on with it? Yes, sir. Sheena, the queen in the building. What's going on, Sheena? Yeah, we got a lot to get into. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna really break this down and talk about, the fight last night. We're gonna talk about the fight. And I can't even say a great fight. I think that we was robbed of a great fight. I think that we was robbed of a potential great fight that could have went down in the history books. But we still got to give all of the respect in the world to Terence Crawford, and we're gonna talk about this. Judah, what's happening with it? Salute to you. Salute. Yes, sir. Roxanne, salute. Let me see. But like I said, when y'all come in the building, smash on the like button, and we're going to get to cooking real soon. Smash on the like button. And, let me just start off real quick because we're going to be cooking on the Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford fight last night. And we're going to talk about Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence's role in all of this. So we're gonna cook on everything. Blood and bone, what's happening with it? We're going to cook on everything. But one thing I do want to get to real quick before we even get into that is Demetrius Andrade. Let's talk about Demetrius Boo Andrade. Demetrius Andrade, he fought another Luke Keebler this time. Or no, who he fought? He fought it wasn't Luke Keebler. He fought fuck was the dude name he fought that Demetrius Andrade fought? And what was that bum's name that he fought? Get G5 Gabe, what's happening with it? Salute. Butter B, what's happening with it? Salute to you. What's the dude that Demetrius Andrade fought? Man, I'm trying to get his. Hold on, let me pull his name up. It was Jason Quigley. Yeah, that's what it was. Jason Quigley, man. That's what I'm saying. Luke Keebler, Jason Quigley. Like I said before, they all the same. But he fought Jason Quigley, and I think he did what he was supposed to do, but he made a statement. You know what I'm saying? He didn't let this dude linger around. He made a statement. And one thing I always said about Demetrius Andrade is that his power, he got devastating power within the first 3 to 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Let's say first 4 rounds. He come out on you, he come out fast. But usually his power don't carry into the later rounds, and he doesn't finish. He don't finish his opponents. But this time, he made sure that he finished dude off and he got him up out of there. A guy that didn't belong in the ring with him. You know what I'm saying? A fighter that didn't belong in the ring with him at all in the first place. And he made sure to let everybody know that that dude wasn't on his level, that Jason Quigley was not on his level, and he didn't belong in the ring with him. You know what I'm saying? He made sure to let everybody know that. So my thing I want to talk about is they made Jamal Charlo look like a complete sucker. Like they made Jamal Charlo look like a complete sucker. You know what I'm saying? They called Jamal Charlo out. Eddie Hearn, he went down the list and he said everybody else, Canelo sold up, Triple G don't have nobody to fight. Of course, he didn't name Jaime Munguia because they letting Jaime Munguia duck. You know what I'm saying? They clearly letting Jaime Munguia duck. But right, they called everybody out, right? And said everybody don't have no fights. But hey, it's time that Jamal Charlo fights Demetrius Andrade. He don't have no plans. He don't have nobody lined up to fight. We both free. Let's make this fight happen and stop being the pussy and stop running. Hey, they got on Jamal Charlo helmet. They got on Jamal Charlo helmet and really put him out there. Really put him out there so everybody could see that he's running, that he don't want no smoke, that he needs to stop making excuses. The fight to be made is Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more excuses. Ain't no, well, 6 years ago, he did bad business with my brother. Okay, that's not an excuse no more. We know that he's with Eddie Hearn, you with PBC, and we know that the deal is going to be done. We know that the deal is going to be done. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, what's happening with it? We know the deal going to be done. And we know the business is going to be done correctly. So you don't have to worry about that. So you can't continue to make an excuse of what happened with your brother 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Now the time is the time, and they need to fight now. And they really put Jamal Charlo out there on Front Street. They really put him out there on Front Street. So they need to make that. Blood and Bone says, I thought I saw where they ordering Charlo and Munguia. Munguia not going to fight him. We see that. Munguia's not going to fight Jamal. Munguia's not going to fight Jamal Charlo, and Triple G's not going to fight him. Right? Get that smoke with Demetrius Andrade. That's the fight that needs to be made. That's it. That's all. You know, quit acting funny. Quit running from that man. But so yeah, definitely, I want to see that fight. I definitely want to see them make that fight, and that's the fight that they need to be ordering. They need to be ordering Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade, and you know, just put a stop to all the excuses that Jamal Charlo making. And I understand, you know, about what happened with his brother and about how they did bad business. But hey, at the end of the day, it ain't like you doing that man a favor by fighting him. He got a belt. Do you not want to unify in the 160-pound division? Do you not want to be undisputed? Like, that's the funny shit to me, because we hear people talking about, oh, well, he, you know what I'm saying, he ain't got to do him no favors and none of that. That man got a belt. That ain't a favor. You ain't fought nobody really, and he ain't fought nobody at 100. Like, you haven't really fought nobody except for one name at 160, and he ain't fought nobody. Y'all basically on even playing field. If you can beat him, go take his belt. Obviously, you're not confident that you can beat the man. You always making excuses, man. And so, yeah, they put Jamal Charlo on Front Street, and they should have put him on Front Street, straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? They should have put him on Front Street. The man been calling you out, been in your press conference, all that shit for years. And I mean, I can understand it if you got other, top names that you fighting. You got other big fights that you fighting. But who you fighting? You're not fighting nobody. Straight up and down, you ain't fighting nobody. Quit making excuses and fight that man. He got a belt. Unify the division if you can. Become undisputed if you can. Quit with all the excuses and the bullshit, because I'm sick of it. And most of the fans that was riding with you heavy, we sick of the shit. Fight that man. You gonna let them, you know what I'm saying, call you a bitch and all that shit in front of, I mean, this is what, damn near 2 weeks in a row, you have fighters publicly call you out in the ring in front of a live arena, and you making excuses for both of them. Shit don't make no sense. But you a lion? That ain't no lion to me. That's not a lion to me. Yeah, Judah, I feel you. I mean, and my man Anthony Johnson, what's happening with it? Salute to you. T-Real 713, salute. Yeah, so it's like, man, I'm not finna like, and I was a huge Jamal Charlo fan. I don't put the Charlos together because they two separate fighters in two, different weight divisions. They not the same people. So I make sure that I separate them. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I separate them. I don't put them together. But yeah, man, you gotta come off the bullshit. They gotta stop with this. Miami Kid Jay says, bro, both Crawford and Spence are not talking about nothing. That fight won't happen. Well, we're gonna get into all of that. We gonna get into all of that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to go over this Demetrius Andrade situation with Jamal Charlo. So yeah, I believe that Demetrius Andrade, he came out and he looked spectacular. Right when the bell rang, like he always do. And I believe that he did what he was supposed to do with the caliber of opponent that he was in the ring with. You know what I'm saying? And he got him out of there. He cooked him. He got him out of there and did what he was supposed to do. So it's just how I feel about that situation, Salute to him. Sylvester 2011, what's happening with it? Sean Loot, what's happening with it? He says, what's good? First time on the channel. That fight last night was a barn burner. He says, hell of a fight. Crawford, something special, man. Respect to Porter. He a dog. Man, salute to you. Pusha says, Spence a runner. He's a tracks. Like I said, man, we going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that. So, yeah, we're going to really break that down. And I'm going to talk about how I feel like, Terence Crawford trainer Bomac is trying to play me. Like, you know what I'm saying? We real men, and I'm going to get into that shit too, and I'm going to let everybody know, like, I don't feel that shit that he trying to pull. He trying to pull some slick shit, I feel, and I don't like that shit. Big John says, you think EJ should take a tune up and fight before Bud? I don't know. I don't know. He might not. He might be forced to. So we're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all that. I'm just trying to, get some time for more people to get in the building so we can get into all of this, because once we start cooking, people come in the building and then they want you to repeat what you already talked about or what we already went over. So smash the like button. You know what I'm saying? Get the likes up. Get the likes up, and we going, we're going to get to cooking. And I want to get y'all opinion on the situation. You know what I'm saying? That I got with Bo Mac too. So get the likes up, and I want to get y'all opinion on the situation that I got with Bo Mac, because I feel some type of way about this shit. 4 a.m. said last night was a great fight. Honestly, I think that Kenny Porter stopped it from being a great fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know. I feel like that Kenny Porter stopped it from being a great fight, but we can get into that. So, but yeah, salute to Bud Crawford, salute to Terence Crawford. Definitely, definitely went out there and he showed that he's not just all talk. He's not just all eye test, right? He showed that he's not just all eye test, that he's more, that he is, at that top level. Yes, YTX, I agree with you 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, like I was pissed off, and it wouldn't. I was pissed off at Kenny Porter, man. You don't do nothing like that with a fight of that magnitude when the man wasn't hurt like that. He was just frustrated. Like Kenny Porter, some shit, man. Real talk. You don't do no shit like that. Yeah, 4 a.m. He stopped us from seeing a potential great fight. You know what I'm saying? Shut your bitch ass up, Richie Porter. Straight up. The fuck up out of my chat. Talking about stop hating. Nigga ain't even said nothing yet, and you in here Block, get his ass up out of here. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. For real. Get Richie Porter up out of here. I ain't not today. Get this bitch ass nigga up out of here. Straight up. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, we could not, that shit today ain't finna slide. You get your bitch ass up out and watch from the background. That's what you can do. Straight up. They ain't even said nothing yet. This clown ass nigga talking about, oh, you hating. Ain't nobody even talk. All I did was give Terence Crawford his respect, said that Terence Crawford is everything that people saying he is. But that shit that Kenny Porter did, nah, yeah, man, Spence was pissed off about that shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, something wasn't right about that shit that Kenny Porter pulled. You know what I'm saying? This is not the amateurs, but we're gonna talk about it. Let's go ahead and get into the fight and let's talk about it. So, to me, Shawn Porter, he came out and he fought like I thought that he wouldn't. He fought like I thought that he would. He was gonna try to box. Remember, I said that I was picking Terence Crawford to win because I said that Shawn Porter was gonna try to box at times more than he should, instead of going right in there and getting on Terence Crawford's ass. But Shawn Porter, he came right out and he got on Terence Crawford, but then he backed off and he started trying to box and he started trying to time Terence Crawford and pick his he was trying to wait for Terence Crawford and wait for the right moments to rush Terence Crawford and get in. He was using good angles on Terence Crawford. He was confusing Terence Crawford, and he was getting on the inside, and he was catching Terence Crawford, right? He was fighting very well. We could see that Terence Crawford was actually was trying to download Shawn Porter, but Shawn Porter was giving Terence Crawford time to try to catch him and figure him out, right? Terence Crawford was trying to catch Shawn Porter. He was trying to time him, but he couldn't catch him. Then later on, as the fight went on, Terence Crawford started, like, he was barely missing him. You know what I'm saying? He was catching him, but he was catching him in the body. You know what I'm saying? But up top, Terence Crawford was barely missing him. But Shawn Porter, he was sticking to the game plan. He was fighting very, very well. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting very well. He was sticking to the game plan. He was using angles. He was using good footwork to get inside. He was trapping Terence Crawford. But what Terence Crawford was doing, and I seen it, right? when Shawn Porter would come up in there, Terence Crawford was coming out at an angle. He was turning and he was trying to catch him with that check right hook, right? He was trying to catch him with the check right hook, but he was grazing him or he was missing him. But I seen what he was trying to do. So at that point in time, Shawn Porter is supposed to switch up. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to go. He's supposed to make adjustments. Shawn Porter's adjustment was fucking to throw away the game plan, right? He threw away the game plan when he was fighting very well. I had Shawn Porter up on the scorecard 6 rounds to 3 in the 10th round. I had Shawn Porter up on the scorecards. In the 10th round, I had Shawn Porter up. Y'all can score how y'all want to score, but I had Shawn Porter up. But I could see that Terence Crawford was coming closer and closer to catching Shawn Porter. I could see it. I could see that he was coming closer and closer. And I can see that Terence Crawford was calm, and Crawford knew that he was going to start catching him. You know what I'm saying? He knew that he was going to start catching Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter started getting more reckless and more reckless as time went on. I don't know what the hell Kenny Porter was telling Shawn in the corner, but he should have been telling him, look, don't go out there reckless on this dude. Continue to use your angles, your side-to-side movement, and continue to watch him when you go in. But he stopped doing that. Shawn Porter threw out of the window what was working for him. When Shawn Porter was using that football herky-jerky movement and using angles and then going to the body and then going up top, it was working for him. And he was able to get inside pretty easy on Terence Crawford. But he stopped doing that. He stopped doing it. And one thing Shawn Porter didn't do the whole fight, he never held. When Terence Crawford looked like he was coming forward on his front foot, trying to walk Shawn Porter down, Shawn Porter's supposed to use angles, hold to get inside, and then make it. But he stopped doing that. But yeah, Terence Crawford really, to me, what I saw last night is Shawn Porter's IQ. Right, his IQ and the game plan that worked for him, he threw that out the window. And Terence Crawford's IQ was on a whole nother level than Shawn Porter's IQ. Terence Crawford's IQ was on a whole nother level than Shawn Porter's IQ. What really see, I looked at the fight different. What really won this fight for Terence Crawford was his IQ. Was on a different level than Shawn Porter's IQ. And Terence Crawford is very sharp. That's another thing I learned about him. He's very sharp and he's accurate, right? And he's patient. He showed a lot of patience. He showed sharpness and accuracy. But on the other hand, it's like a lot of that shit is confusing, because we can see where Shawn Porter just threw the game plan out the window. We can see where Shawn Porter just threw the whole game plan out the window. And it's like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? Why are you going in there? He started going square. He started squaring up, going straight in on he started squaring up, going straight in on Terence Crawford, throwing them wide ass lunging hooks, and fucking had his head all up in the air. It wasn't even caring about defense. He just threw all of his defense out the window and said, fuck it. And it's like, bro, you supposed to be the one that you supposed to have a high IQ. You always like he commentates boxing. He breaks everything down well. And you supposed to take that into the ring with you. Like, we thought that Bud Crawford was going to be the one to just get frustrated and start fighting wild. And Shawn Porter was the one that got frustrated and just threw everything out the window and just, came in there, head up in the air, wild shots, and just left everything All the skills he had, he just threw that shit out the window. And I want to really know what Kenny Porter was telling him. Because how can you go from fighting that well throughout the whole fight and then throw your whole game plan out the window? But yeah, we got to give we got to give a lot of that credit to Bud Crawford, because Bud Crawford is sharp. And we seen when Bud Crawford would come on, you know what I'm saying? When Bud Crawford would come on, he was very accurate. And his body work, you know what I'm saying? I think that Bud Crawford's body work is underrated. Man, he was hitting Shawn Porter with some hellacious body shots. And he, like I said, his ring IQ, Bud Crawford's ring IQ is on another level, because Bud Crawford's ring IQ, he has a great ring IQ. He noticed when he wasn't catching Shawn Porter up top, when he couldn't land the shit that he wanted to land on Shawn Porter, and as crisp as he wanted to land on Shawn Porter, he started shooting the shots to his chest. He started shooting uppercuts to Shawn Porter's chest, and he was catching him. And that changed Shawn Porter's game plan. You know what I'm saying? That changed Shawn Porter's game plan and made Shawn Porter start to react differently. He made Shawn Porter start to react different because he started catching Shawn Porter with hard-ass body shots and hit him right in the chest. But that's up to Kenny Porter to let Shawn Porter know, this is what you need to do. Stick to the game plan. But he didn't do that. I really would like to hear what Kenny Porter was telling Shawn in that corner, because Shawn Porter, man, he just, like, I don't know what the fuck he did. He was fighting well. To me, like I said, you could disagree if you want to, but I had Shawn Porter up in that fight. Shawn Porter, to me, was winning that fight up to that point. And you know what I'm saying? And as far as Kenny Porter, well, I'm not even gonna get to Kenny Porter now. I'm gonna talk about the knockdown. So the first knockdown, like I said, Shawn Porter, he started fighting wild. He started running up in there, pretty much squared off with his head in the air, trying to wing big ass overhand shots. He was doing the same thing over and over. So I saw that Terence Crawford, you know, he was like, okay, bet, I got him. Terence Crawford was like, okay, bet, I got him. This dude is coming in wild. He's leaving his whole face wide open. He's not putting his, you know what I'm saying? He just threw his defense out the window. He's not being defensively responsible. So I'm going to time him. And you seen Terence Crawford sitting back, and he was at mid-range. He was trying to time him, and he was getting closer and closer, right? Shawn Porter coming in with that same fucking looping-ass hook, that looping-ass, wide-ass hook with his head all up in the air. And Bud Crawford on the first knockdown, right? He stepped back, and he hit him with an overhand, a hard-ass overhand right on the temple. Bam! Shawn Porter took it, right? Shawn Porter came again and tried to throw the same fucking shit that he had just thrown, another wide-ass looping hook. Shawn Porter missed that, and Bud Crawford timed him perfectly and hit him with an uppercut right in his chest. Now, great, beautiful shot in the chest by Bud Crawford, but a lot of it was Shawn Porter being wild and reckless and being off balance. And those were timing knockdowns. The first knockdown, let's get to them. It was a timing knockdown. It wasn't that Shawn Porter was out of it or he was just hurt. He timed him. Bud Crawford timed him. He was getting reckless. He was off balance, and bam, shot the shot to his motherfucking chest and timed him and knocked him down perfectly. Shawn Porter knew it. Shawn Porter was frustrated, right? He popped right back up, and Shawn Porter went out there and not using his boxing IQ, right? not using his athleticism and ability, he goes out there to try to get his lick back. He go out there straight at Terence Crawford, trying to get his lick back, and did the same exact thing that got his ass put down the first time. Right? Went out there, but the first thing he was doing is he was fucking getting too low to the ground. He was getting all the way to the ground and then coming up with his head straight up in the air, trying to fucking, you know what I'm saying, wing them wild ass shots. Then he get back down, and all Terence Crawford did, he caught him with a cuffing shot around the head. But if you go back and look, Shawn Porter knees was damn near on the ground already when he got caught. So he caught him with a cuffing shot to the head, timed him again, and he fell over, right? But we could see that Porter wasn't hurt like that. Porter was more frustrated and pissed off because he knew that he was getting caught, because he was getting wild and he was throwing his and he was doing some shit that he shouldn't have been doing, right? So you seen Shawn Porter hella frustrated, pounding his gloves on the canvas, like fuck, like damn, I keep getting caught. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know better than this. I know better than this. Why do I keep getting caught with shit that I know that I shouldn't be getting caught with because of my mistakes? So he's pounding his gloves on the motherfucking canvas, pissed off. Now, first of all, if a fighter is hurt like that, is that hurt to where you need to throw a towel in on him? That fighter don't have enough senses to be pounding the motherfucking mat that hard. If you that hurt, you cannot pound the mat that hard while you screaming, like, you know what I'm saying, like shit, like while you screaming at yourself and talking to yourself, pounding the mat. You don't have that much wits under you if you that hurt to where somebody needs to throw in the towel. You can't do all of that. Now, we seen Shawn Porter pop right up. When Shawn Porter got up, he wasn't off balance. He had his feet up under him. He had his legs up under him. And you can see that Shawn Porter was fine. The man was okay. He was just frustrated because he was getting wild. He threw his defense out the window and he was getting timed and he was getting caught. So he was more frustrated. At that point in time, if you Kenny Porter, right, you get Shawn Porter's attention and you let Shawn Porter know, hey, Shawn, stop being reckless. Cut the shit out. Quit being reckless. You going in there reckless. You know what I'm saying? This man is trying to time you, Shawn. He's looking for you to get reckless, and he's trying to time you, Shawn. Stick to what we worked on, Shawn. Stick to the game plan, Shawn. All he had to do is yell that to Shawn, right? Now, Shawn Porter is a two-time champion. We've seen Shawn Porter in the ring against the best of the best. We've seen Shawn Porter take big shots. We've seen Shawn Porter sit down and get back up and continue to fight. We've seen him go through adversity. And we also seen that Shawn Porter, like I said, he wasn't hurt like that. Yeah, he was getting time because of a lot of his mistakes and because of Bud Crawford's ring IQ. It was because of Shawn Porter's mistakes that he was making, and it was because of Terence Crawford's ring IQ. But you have a chance to go out there, finish the round, go back to the corner, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all get yourself together and let him know. But you didn't even give your son a chance to finish the fucking round. You didn't even try to tell your son, look, stop being reckless. All you did was get your fucking sorry ass up on the canvas and throw the towel in and stop it. For what? This is not the amateurs, Kenny. It ain't the amateurs, Kenny. If you couldn't take seeing your son go through some adversity, get hit with clean shots. I mean, go back to the Danny Garcia fight. Shawn Porter was getting hit with some mean hooks that was rocking him in the Danny Garcia fight. You didn't stop it then. Although he didn't fall against Danny Garcia, but he was getting hit clean with some mean shots. Right? So if you couldn't stand to see your son take some clean shots and couldn't stand to see him go through some adversity and knew that you wasn't going to let him go through some adversity and get up and continue to fight, well then, you should have let somebody else train him for this fight. You should have sat the fuck in the audience and watched. This is not the amateurs. You give him the respect to continue to fight. If he's clearly showing you that he's okay, that he can continue to fight, you give him that respect. Especially when it was a close fight like it was. Like I said, before the first knockdown, I had Shawn Porter up 6-3. You give that man a chance to finish the round and continue to fight. Now, if he goes out there the next round and he's showing you that, you know what I'm saying, he's still fighting the same way, he's still getting caught, then, okay, you make the call. You didn't even get a man a warning. You just jumped up on the fucking apron out of nowhere and threw the towel in. That shit was funny. Like, that's some funny style shit to me. Like, that's some fun. And y'all hit the like button. Y'all make sure that y'all smash on the like button. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. I'm gonna address some shit right now that with Bomac. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna address some shit with Bomac because I feel Bomac is trying to play me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna address this, and y'all give me y'all honest opinion on this situation, right? Y'all give me y'all honest opinion on this situation and let me know what y'all think, right? Because I always been a man of my word, and if I make a bet, I'm always a man of my word, right? And I want everybody in here to give me y'all honest opinion, right? Now, this is the deal with me and Bomac, right? Last year, Bomac was on my panel, and we was talking about this is like a year ago, right? And we was talking about the subject with Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford came up. The subject came up, and Bomac was in here talking about that if they ever fought, that Terence Crawford was going to knock out Shawn Porter within 4 rounds. He said I think he said 5 rounds. He's going to stop Shawn Porter within 5 rounds, right? So I said, well, then if they ever fight, we could bet on that shit. We could bet on the stoppage if they ever fight, right? So we see that they didn't look like they was ever going to make that fight. Now, when the fight was announced, when they did finally make that announcement, I messaged Bomac on Instagram, and I said, hey, we talked about this. I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, so let's make it happen. Let's bet on the fight. I said, if Terence Crawford can stop Shawn Porter, I said, you pay me. If Terence Crawford can stop Shawn Porter, I'll pay you. If he don't get the stoppage, you got to pay me, right? And I said, I'll go to the fight. We'll meet up with each other, and we'll pay the night of the fight. I'll go to the fight, right? He responded back, and he said, bet. Right? He responded back, and he said, bet. That's all he said. He said, bet. Cool. I'm cool with that, right? So on November the 14th, I hit Bomac on his Instagram. I messaged him, and I said, hey, Bomac, I'm still in the process of doing the remodeling on this home. I said, they're taking a lot longer than I thought they would take. I said, so I'm not going to be able to make the fight, Bomac. I said, but, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm not going to be able to make the fight, but we could pay each other over Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. I said, so hit me up. I said, give me your Cash App, your PayPal, or your Zelle. And I said, here's my Cash App right here, right? He looked at the message. He never responded to me. He didn't respond. So I said, all right, cool. I'll give him some time. You know what I'm saying? He looked at the message the same day and he didn't respond. He didn't say nothing back to me. I said, cool, I'll give him some time, right? I hit him up in the beginning of this week. I said, hey, I'm just hitting you up because you ain't respond. I'm hitting you up to see if the bet is still on. I'm hitting you up to see if we still good for that bet. You know what I'm saying? That's good. If we're going to confirm the bet, we still good. He looked at the message and he didn't respond. He didn't say nothing. Right? So they go on and they had a fight. The outcome is that Shawn Porter got stopped. Right? As soon as Shawn Porter gets stopped, the nigga hit me last night over in the morning talking about, hey, nigga, pay me my money. Pay me my money. And I'm like, bro, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? The whole time I'm trying to get you to respond to confirm the bet, you ain't said nothing. You didn't say nothing. You looking at the message and you're not saying nothing. Now that the outcome of the fight happens, now you hit me talking about pay you your money, and he done hit me with about 8 or 9 messages talking about, nah, you got to pay me my money, this, and that. And so I want to get y'all honest opinion. He didn't respond to me none of the times before, and I got the messages. You know what I'm saying? I'll post them shits. So what y'all think about that situation? Because I feel like that he was trying to play me. I feel like that he was trying to play me, right? To wait for the outcome of the fight. I feel like that if Shawn Porter hadn't got stopped, he would have never responded. And he would have been like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You didn't show up to the fight. I ain't got shit to say to you, right? But now that after the outcome of the fight, this nigga talking about, oh, no, you need to pay me my money. I'm like, bro. So I want to get, honestly, what do y'all think about that situation? What do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? If you in that situation, what do you think? And I want to get y'all honest opinion, because I ain't never had a man that I bet in my, and that's on everything I love. I ain't never betting, and niggas know me. I've never bet in Mr. Rez J. Me and him bet, we bet $1,000 on Wilder. I paid that man the next day. I didn't ask no questions. We confirmed the bet and everything. I ain't never bet no man that I've never bet nobody and didn't pay him. But that's some funny shit to me. So let me see. My man, Mr. Rez J in the building right here. He says, whenever we bet, I hit you up the week of the fight. If you don't respond, in my eyes, that's not a bet. And the nigga was looking at he was reading the messages. You know, on Instagram, it tell you if they seen it or if he was reading the messages and wouldn't respond. And then all of a sudden, after the fight, this nigga then sent me about 10 messages. Bro, all you have to do is it take 2 seconds to say, we still good. I feel like he was trying to wait to see what the outcome of the fight was going to be. I don't like that. That's funny shit to me. Let me see. Now I'm going to read y'all and get y'all opinion on this. Cassandra Mason said Bomac was shady. He didn't confirm the bet. Brown on Boxing said, he said in less than 6 rounds, that's not what happened. No. The bet was just the bet was just a pure, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no rounds involved. It was just if you're gonna stop him or not. Let me see what else y'all talking. Let me see. So Weedy, I bet if I pull this nigga up, he say when he say bet, it's no pay the man, it's no more long talking. I pretty much know he probably fuck with Bomac, because that's the same shit that Bomac tried to say. Oh, when I put bet, it ain't you. No, nigga, I asked you on several occasions. So you know what I'm saying? Let me see. Brown on Boxing said he can miss me. John Kramer said he could take it out his ass. Bernard Bird says bet has to be confirmed. My man, Ultimate Fight Club, what's happening with it, man? I ain't seen you in a long time. What's good? He says he didn't confirm the bet, so it's void. He was trying to wait you out. That's what I'm saying, bro. Diverse Country says he should have contacted you back to confirm. He was waiting to see the ending of the fight. That's what it looked like to me. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. Anybody with common sense could see that the man was waiting to see what the outcome was, because he didn't message me 10 times after the outcome, but you couldn't put 2 words, or you couldn't put 1 word and say confirm. We good. EJ88 say sound like shady business, didn't lock the bet in, but now want the money. That's what I'm saying. Because now, if he had won, if I had won the bet, nigga would have been like, hey, he probably wouldn't even responded, because he didn't respond the whole time. That's the funny shit to me. John Crackman say Bo Mac was just trying to rub it in your face. But got the Kenny Porter stoppage. That's all. He don't want no money. Nah, he want the money. Like the nigga that messaged me, he been messaging me all morning. You know what I'm saying? But before, you couldn't respond at all. Diverse Conscience said he wanted both ways, win or lose, funny style. That's what I'm saying. Cassandra Mason say that bet is a no-go. Who Israel says no bet. Brown on Boxer says he no confirming, not no bet. War Eagle 853 says he was definitely waiting you out. Yep, my man, World Combat Sport. And he a huge. And World Combat ride with them heavy. And World Combat says, yep, confirmation is mandatory. The man was trying to play me. And I feel some type of way about that shit. B&B Boxing News, salute. Coach Lamont says, shit, he probably had a lot going. No, he didn't have a lot going on. I mean, yeah, he did have a lot going on, right? Of course he had a lot going on. But the thing is that he read the message. So he didn't have too much going on. He ain't had too much going on to where he couldn't respond. You feel what I'm saying? He says, you know what I'm saying? And me and Bo Mac, I think we bet one time before, right? And Bo Mac confirmed that bet. He confirmed that bet. We bet one time before, and he was cool. He let me know that it was still on, and he was cool about this shit. Why are you gonna wait until after and then come and talk about pay me your money? But I hit you up on 2 separate occasions. You read the message and didn't respond at all. Come on, that's some fuck shit right there. That's some bullshit. Mr. Reg J says, once the terms change that you couldn't make the fight, you have to confirm the bet. And see, what you said right there, Mr. Reg J, what you said, my dude, that's how I feel. I feel that if I hadn't won the bet, right? If the outcome hadn't came in his favor, he would have said that shit. He would have been like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Once you said you couldn't make the fight, the bet was off. That's why I ain't respond to you. It wasn't nothing else to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to play it both ways. If you really wanted to bet, why wouldn't you confirm so you don't have no type of issues? You don't have no type of confusion. If I want to bet somebody, and if they asking me, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm making sure we still on. I'm making sure, and I'm sitting here reading it, and I ain't responding. That means I don't want to bet you. That means I'm trying to do some funny shit, and I'm trying to wait to the outcome of the fight. That's all he got to do is put we good, confirm. World Combat says that guy on your panel I asked to link up on IG. He owed my 100 bill. Who you talking about? Who you talking about? Big John says, even if he just gave you a thumbs up if he was busy. Bro, that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You telling me you can read these messages. You know what I'm saying? You can read the messages, and I came to you like a man and let you know, look, man, I can't make the fight, but go ahead and shoot me your Cash App, your PayPal, or your Zelly. And you know what I'm saying? Hey, if I lose, I'll Zell it to you or Cash App to you. And you can do the same thing. Here's my Cash App. Nigga read it, didn't respond. Hit him up again. Hey, Bo Mac, I know you busy, but I'm just hitting you up to make sure that we still good for the bet. The nigga read it, didn't respond. Bro, you ain't finna play me like that. You know what I'm saying? The verse conscious says, you and I was going to bet. You told me to hit you up, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't confirm it. He said Bud was going to he said I didn't confirm if Bud was going to stop it. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down, bro. Like me and Kyle bet. I bet with Kyle. Kyle hit me up today. He said, hey, you know what I'm saying? Pay me. I said, hey, I hit Kyle up. Before he even hit me up, I said, Kyle, what's your Cash App? We confirmed the bet. You know what I'm saying? This nigga, he on some other shit. That's funny to me, like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's funny style shit, and I don't get down like that. But anyway, let's go back into, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back into this fight. So, like I said, you know, we got to give Terence Crawford his props, because Terence Crawford, man, he is everything that they said he is. The man is sharp. And I'm talking about offensively. Offensively, he's everything that they said he is. He's very sharp. His timing is very good. And he a dog. He a dog. Now, I did see a lot of defensive flaws in Terence Crawford. I did see some defensive flaws in Terence Crawford. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? His offensive abilities outweigh his defensive flaws. Straight up and down. World Combat Sports says, no doubt Keon pays his best. We did previous. Didn't have to ask. It was already in my Cash App. And anybody that's ever bet me, they'll tell you straight up and down. Blue Blood Sports, BFTV, Scotty White, my man in here, Mr. Rez J. And I didn't bet thousands of dollars with niggas. I pay all the time. You know what I'm saying? But niggas don't move like he do. Like, he moved funny. Like that shit that he tried to pull a slick one. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, you know, so we got to give Terence Crawford his props. It's not, we can't sit here and say that he ain't fought nobody no more. We can't say that, oh, he just, you know, moving off the eye test. We got to give him all the props in the world. He is right there. He is one of the best welterweights in the entire world. You know what I'm saying? It's between him and Errol Spence right now. It's between him and Errol Spence. Some will say Terence Crawford. Some will say Errol Spence. I don't have no problem with what you say either way. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? No more talking. The fight got to be made. No more talking. The fight got to be made at the end of the day. That's just how I see it. No more talking. The fight got to be made. You know, and I'm not going to come in here and break down that fight. I'm not going to give you the defensive flaws that I saw in Terence Crawford or none of that. I'm going to give a man his respect, but at the end of the day, the fight got to be made. And I'm going to drop a link, and I'm going to let, you know what I'm saying, anybody that want to cook, I'm going to drop a link, and we could talk about this. And we also going to talk about Errol Spence. Errol Spence didn't waste. Now, a lot of people got a problem with Errol Spence getting up and leaving the building. Errol Spence got up and he left the building because he was fucking aggravated. He was pissed off that Kenny Porter stopped the fight when everybody could see that Kenny Porter was on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He got up, he shook his head, and he dipped out. And another reason he tried to leave out early is because if you a fighter of the magnitude of Errol Spence and you don't have a backstage pass with Top Rank, and I'm explaining, if you don't have a credential, right? To where they gonna let you go backstage with Top Rank, and you wait until everybody else leaves to leave out. Errol Spence would have never got out that building. He would have got mobbed by thousands and thousands and thousands of media fans. He would have never got out that building. So he got up, and I don't get me wrong. I wanted to see him get in the ring. But one, he was aggravated and pissed off because he like, man, this is a hell of a fight. And Kenny Porter got to fucking be the goddamn hero. You know what I'm saying? He got to intervene, and he got to have a spotlight on him doing some ignorant ass dumb shit. And he was aggravated. He was frustrated because he knew that Kenny Porter shouldn't have stopped that fight. And if you watch the film, you see him shaking his head and just getting up and walking out. Now, salute to Terence Crawford for calling out Errol Spence. He finally called out Errol Spence. He finally said, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? If Errol Spence quit running from me, let's make this fight happen. Now, that was a lie. Errol Spence ain't never ran from you, but he called him out. That's what I wanted to hear from Terence Crawford. I wanted to hear Terence Crawford get in the ring for the first time and call out Errol Spence. Not get in the ring and say, hey, I'm willing to fight anybody, because that's what he was doing before. Now he called out Errol Spence finally, and much respect for doing that. Now that's showing me that Terence Crawford really wants this fight now. Even though he goes back and forth and he contradicts himself and he say, oh, the fight is behind me. Well, now this time you let everybody know that you do want the fight. So much respect to Terence Crawford. But Errol Spence, y'all seen it. Errol Spence didn't waste no time, and he retweeted, right? Errol Spence didn't waste no time, and he was quick to repost. He was quick to repost, right? Himself against Terence Crawford on PBC pay-per-view. And he let the world know that it's time. Make the fight. So if y'all trying to act like Errol Spence is running from Terence Crawford and all that bullshit that y'all saying, he would have never put it on his Instagram, in his Instagram story. He would have never put it on his Instagram story, right? Him against Terence Crawford on PBC pay-per-view. That right there, that was his way of letting everybody know, look, no more talking. Ain't nothing else to be talked about. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it happen. This is what Errol Spence posted. This is what Errol Spence posted. The biggest fight, PBC Fox pay-per-view. Right. So he wouldn't have never reposted that if he didn't want to make it happen. He also posted, this is what Errol said, and I'm gonna drop a link. I'm gonna drop the links now. So you know what I'm saying. Yes, D. Murray. Yeah, Spence left early because he was fucking. He was disgusted at Kenny Porter for stopping the fight like that. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. He was disgusted at Kenny Porter for stopping the fight like he did. So he was like, man, fuck this. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone. Big John says if Bud is with MTK now, there will be more obstacles making that fight with PBC. Shaking my head. Well, like I said, the ball is in Bud Crawford's. If Bud Crawford is really serious about making this fight happen, the ball is in his court. He's a free agent. Bud Crawford told Bob Arum to, and I'm gonna let y'all hear exactly what he told Bob Arum, right to Bob Arum's face. I'm gonna play the clip and let y'all hear this shit.
Well, I'm pretty sure my decision was made already. You know, Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him, so I ain't gonna secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him. So, you know, I'm moving forward with my career right now, and I wish everybody the best.
So y'all hear that clearly. Hold on. So y'all hear that clearly. He said he couldn't secure the Spence fight with me when I was with him. So how he gonna secure the Spence fight with me when I'm not with him? I'm moving forward with my career now, and I wish everybody the best. And Bob Arum was sitting right there next to him. Told Bob Arum, I'm chunking the deuce. I'm gone. You dig what I'm saying? But if you go to later on in that interview, and let me see if I got it recorded. If you go to later on in that interview, he kind of confused me because they asked him about it again. Another reporter asked him about it again, like, you know, what was his next move gonna be? You know, was he leaving top? And he was kind of like, well, you know, I'm gonna go home. I don't know what my next move is gonna be. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna rest and you know, and we'll see what's next. So I don't know. He kind of confused me there, but I'm gonna ride with what he said the first time. I'm gonna ride with what he said the first time. He said, hey, I'm chunking the deuce. Hey, I wish him the best. And he could secure me the fight. I'm gone. So I expect him to stick to that, what he said. And I like that. I loved it that when he did that shit with Bob sitting right next to him. And Bob couldn't do nothing but sit there with that look on his face. He couldn't do nothing. And I love that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit, man. And Coach, what's happening with it, Coach?
What's happening, bro?
Man, you know, shit. Same pimp suit, just reheated, man. Breaking it down.
Boy, I love that shit. Oh my God, that made my night right there.
Right. Now
that made my night. Bob had the dick look on his face. Oh my goodness, that shit made my night, bro.
Right. Now, before we get into that, you know the situation that I was just explaining about the Bo Mackey and that whole situation.
Right.
How you feel about that situation?
I feel that was some shady shit. That's what I feel. Now, especially, I could understand if he didn't read the messages, he didn't see the messages. You know, personally, I would have got on the phone and called his ass. That's how that shit would have went. But you did reach out. You did try to get him to see. That's some bullshit. Because if he would have lost if Shawn Porter would have went 12 rounds, he'd have been like, man, I ain't confirming the bet. See, that's shady shit. You know, the man is reaching out. I can't make it to the fight. I'm letting you know I'm not gonna be there, but let's trade Cash App, Zelle, or whatever it is. And he don't respond. Fucking bet is not on, because you don't do shit like that. That's not business. If you're gonna take care of business, you need to confirm everything. Make sure that we have a contract, a verbal contract. And then
I hit him again, and he read it and didn't respond.
Yeah, that's bullshit. It would have been some shit. It would have been some shit. It would have been some shit. Because I'm not saying Omaha is the most, you know, rough place in the world, because it ain't. But the whole thing is that's some shady shit that he tried to pull. That's not the way you conduct business. He should have talked to you and say, well, even y'all message, here go my Cash App, nigga, may the best man win. And that's it.
Simple as that.
Right. Because if you would have won, Keon, if you would have won, it would have been a problem. I can guarantee it, bro. It would have been a problem, bro. That shit wouldn't have been good, bro. You know?
Straight up and down, man. And so I'm not feeling that shit. But let's get into, you know what I'm saying, the fight, man. What did you think about the fight last night? You know, give me your take on it.
There was, I thought Shawn Porter was, I'm gonna say, I think he was up on the scorecards in my eyes. Bud was he made adjustments though. He made adjustments, and Shawn Porter started getting, he wasn't using his head. He started lunging, and Bud was countering. Bud was spinning out. Bud was spinning out with, he was throwing a check hook, and that's how he was getting out of trouble. Instead of Shawn stepping over to his left with him and slipping under and throwing shots. You can tell the difference between an elite fighter that Bud, than the other fights Bud has had. Now, don't get me wrong, he stopped Shawn. I think Kenny shouldn't have stopped the fight. Anytime a fighter can sit there and beat on the canvas, he's not hurt. You know what I'm saying? He's not hurt. And the round was not far from being over. So Kenny shouldn't have did that shit. I didn't agree with that. I know that's your son and you're trying to protect him and he's not really into the fight. Or the fact was, because of the 2 knockdowns, you was going to end up losing the fight. See, that's what stressed Shawn out. That's what had him mad. That's why he was hit. Damn, I done went down twice in this round. Now I know I'm behind.
Right.
So have to do something. So that's what was the frustration. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt. Shawn got knocked down the first time because his feet was together. That's why he got knocked down. It wasn't because he
timed him, and it was more. It was a timing shot, catching him off balance. But it was a clear knockdown. Right. But it was a timing shot.
Right. And Bud showed vulnerability in that fight. There's vulnerable spots in there. You can see, where Shawn took over parts of that fight, where you never seen that with Terence Crawford, where people take over. But that's the difference between elite fighters and just regular fighters. So he showed a lot of vulnerable spots. He's not going to be able to do that type of stuff with Errol Spence. Now, I'm not saying he going to lose to Errol Spence, so y'all fucking calm y'all nerves down. I'm not saying all of that. I'm not saying Errol going to just beat the hell out of him, because it's not going to happen like that. It's going to be a chess match. I think it showed that Bud is strong, but not as strong as I thought he was. Like, he showed real strength in that Kell Brook fight. He showed strength, him bringing up, but he's not as strong. He started when he pushed Shawn back to the ropes and pushed him and stuff, I was like, okay. But Shawn came right back. That's the difference between elite fighters. They start, when the other fighter start getting shit on you, and you start biting down, and then you start bringing it to him too. So the thing is and you can see the pace. The pace was something that Bud wasn't used to. That pace. And that's Errol's thing. Errol has a high pace. He's not gonna sit there. He gonna stay in your face. He gonna mirror you. He gonna do everything. And there's things and he has reach. Shawn Porter had to get inside. Errol Spence worked his way inside because he got the reach to do it. So that's something that's considered, that need to be considered. It's not gonna be he gonna just outbox Errol Spence, because that's not gonna happen. We gonna see if Terence can handle the type of pressure that Errol Spence puts on. It's way different than Shawn Porter. Right. So I just want to see the fight. I like both fighters. I love Errol's attitude. I love Bud's attitude. He opened up more in this fight as far as talking to people and this and that, which I can appreciate. This gonna be a barn burner, bro. It's gonna be a really good fight. But Shawn made a lot of mistakes, the lunging, and he just kept check hooking him and turning out of there. He didn't stay planted and getting in the right way. But he won rounds. He won a lot of rounds in that fight.
I had Shawn up 6 rounds to 3.
So you can see the bias with the reporters on there. That shit was terrible. I think it's gonna be a really good fight, and I think they're gonna make it. And I think Bud's gonna end up with the PBC. That's what I really
He's not
believe.
going to PBC. I know inside information. He's not going to PBC.
Well,
Now,
he may be free agent. You know what I'm saying? Which
I
that's
think
what I would do if I was
that's
him.
what I would do too. I would stay a free agent to get the fight done. Maybe sign a 1-fight deal with PBC if they're willing to do that and get the fight done over there to get the fight done. You know,
Right.
he's able to do whatever he wants to do now. So the ball is pretty much in his court. Now
we'll see one thing though, Keon. What we're gonna see now, Bud Crawford has proven himself, right? What we gonna see, does Bud have the? Are they gonna let Bud have the type of pull that Canelo got? That's what we're gonna see.
Right.
Are we really gonna see if boxing in the media gonna let him move like Canelo moved?
Right.
That's what we're gonna see.
Right, and I think that the ball is in Bud Crawford's court, but Spence, he still got some pull in this too, because he got to go to Al Heyman and say, look, whatever y'all got to do, make this fight happen.
Oh yeah, I think that's already in the making,
right?
Because that's already in the making. I can guarantee you that, bro. That's the best business move. And Errol wants the belt. He can't get Ugas, so Terence on deck, bro.
Right.
You know, he was gonna clean up his side of the street. The WBA done threw a monkey wrench in that whole program. So now he going after Bud. It's gonna happen, bro. And they gonna make an ass load of money, bro. Both of them. They're gonna make an ass load of money.
Right. And I think that now, as far as the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, you hear a lot of people trying to flip shit now. Like, look what he did to Porter, and Spence couldn't do that to Porter, and this. That's a much different fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a totally different fight. For one, we could all see that Errol Spence wasn't in the same condition that he was with, you know what I'm saying, when he was at his best when he went into Porter.
It's not that though, Keon. That's not what it is. Errol Spence wanted to brawl with him. He could have boxed him. Errol Spence wanted to brawl with him. This wasn't no see, that's a difference. Bud couldn't brawl with him. When he tried that, Bud got caught in the fight. When he started, and Bomac had to rein him in. Look, there's no need to get into a war with him. Don't do that. Whereas Errol Spence wanted to brawl with him. He said, I'm going to beat you at your own game. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I'm not going to box him. Errol Spence said it after the fight. I could have made it easy. I could have boxed him, but I wanted to brawl. That's what I wanted to do. Whereas Bud tried that and it wasn't working for him. And Bud had to stay in the southpaw stance. We all saw that because when he was in Orthodox, Shawn Porter was putting it on him.
Right.
So, that's the difference, bro. It's gonna be. I think they say that Terence is more versatile, but as far as being an inside fighter and all of that, he's not that, because if that was the case, he wouldn't have been tying showing up. He would have been in there getting it in up close,
Watch, I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Show y'all something real quick. Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. Hold on real quick. You could cook. You could cook. I'm trying to find this on my phone.
It was a good fight. I think Kenny Porter full of shit though.
Kenny Porter, for real.
You never know what was gonna happen in the 11th and 12th round. You gotta give Shawn earned the right to now if he would have got up and got hurt bad again, that would have been something different. But he wasn't hurt. He was more aggravated than anything. I wouldn't have stopped the fight regardless if that's your son or not. He wasn't hurt. It wasn't like he was just taking a bunch of punches and getting beat up like that. It wasn't like that. If he would have been taking a lot of punches, I might have had the towel in my hand. You know what I'm saying? But I could see my son is not hurt. he was more frustrated than anything because a lot of those were being not balanced. He got knocked down from being not balanced. His feet came together because of lunging, and Bud timed him perfect. It's just, it is what it is.
Now,
But
y'all look at this.
I was surprised that Bud wasn't as physical as I perceived him to be. He wasn't as physical. You know, I thought he was gonna be more physical, but he did a good job of boxing. I mean, he's an excellent boxer. He's a great fighter, man.
His ring IQ, man. His ring IQ. Talk about Bud ring IQ. His ring IQ is he got a hell of a ring IQ.
Yeah, he's got a really good ring IQ, and he knows his limitations. You believe it or not, people think he don't have limitations, but he do. And it showed last night that he have limitations, where he's not a very good inside fighter. If he keep you at range, at his distance, he punches hard. You know, to say he's wiry, that joker punch hard, bro. So, you know, but it showed that his inside game needs to be sharpened up, and Shawn brought that out last night. You know, because if he can't keep Errol Spence on the outside, it's gonna be a tough night. And Errol Spence not gonna let you just spin out like that. You know, so.
Oh, now look at this. This is why I say that Errol Spence wasn't nearly at his best physically when he fought Shawn Porter. Now look at this. Tell me if y'all don't see a big, huge difference. Look, hold on. And I'm gonna put it up, and y'all could be the judge of this. This is why I always say this. Not making no excuses or none, but this is why I always say this, right? This is Errol Spence weigh in when he fought Kell Brook, right? That was when he fought Kell Brook. You see, right? This is the Lamont Peterson, I believe. You see? Now, look at this shit when he fought Shawn Porter. Y'all don't see no difference?
Yeah, he's different.
Bro, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. He didn't have, his strength wasn't there. Like he didn't, and he told everybody he didn't do no strength and conditioning for the Mikey Garcia, and then went all the way to the Shawn Porter fight and didn't do no strength and conditioning.
He didn't do nothing for Danny either.
Bro, that's a huge difference. So when people saying, I mean, if they think that they finna get that Errol Spence coming in against Terence Crawford, they got another thing coming.
He back with Blu-ray.
How strong, we seen how physically strong that Errol Spence was back then.
Yeah,
he was working with Blu-ray.
Yeah, he was with Blu-ray then.
Yeah, so that's a whole different, that is a whole different it's not opinions. That's why, see, dude up in here talking about, oh, that's opinion. It's not an opinion when I could put a picture up and I could show y'all the difference.
What I was happy to see,
his body was different is not my opinion. That's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, what I was happy to see, Earl weight is down. That's what I'm happy to see.
Right.
That's what I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see that he hasn't blown up. None of that shit. So that means he's still been working.
Right. He's been working the whole time. And he been staying in shape, been keeping his weight down. So he making sure whoever he fight next, it's all go mode. He don't gotta have no fat camp.
Right. This is he so that means I hope he's still working with Blu-ray right now. While he was hurt with his eye, he should have been in the strength and conditioning.
That's what I said. I said that on I think I said that on Friday, Coach. I said the same exact thing. But it's a much different when you got to go in camp and you 185 pounds and you got to weigh in at 147. That's what he was doing. And Antoine Hunter says that's a personal problem why he wasn't training. And exactly, that is a personal problem. I'm not making no excuse.
No.
And you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody making no excuses for him. That's his fault. but at the same time, don't try to act like that he was in the same physical form and shape that he was, you know what I'm saying, when he fought Shawn Porter, that he was before when he was fighting dudes like Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook and Ocampos. He wasn't in the same physical shape. I mean, that you can see that. That's why I put the picture up so people can stop trying to pretend.
Well,
That
what that really tells you is that Errol has extreme confidence.
Yeah.
He has extreme confidence because he's fighting. Just like with Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter and them, he has extreme confidence because he's like, I can beat these dudes without going through all of that shit. And he did it. Like, right. That's extreme confidence. Now he knows that he's not getting the knockouts that he was getting before. He knows all of that. You know, so, and he knows that he got to step it up and be more dominant. And the car accident was sort of a blessing because it made him refocus. You know, it made him refocus. So we'll see, man. I just want to see the fight. I really do. Right. Now that he can't get Ugas, bro, I'm excited, brother.
Hey, if this dude Antoine Hunter get on here and say one more silly ass thing, get him the fuck up out of here, straight up. This
what he said,
talking about, like I said before, ain't nobody gonna give Bud his credit. We've been sitting on here the whole time giving Bud his credit.
He act like we don't like Bud.
He was talking about how great his motherfucking sharpness was. Get his ass up out of here,
bro. These people act like we don't like Bud. We like Bud Crawford,
silly, man.
What the fuck is wrong with these people, bro? We like Bud Crawford, bro. I like good fighters. I could care less who they are. None of these motherfuckers giving me no money.
That's my dude, Catfish. Man, don't get him. Don't block him. Never mind. Don't block him. That's my dude, Catfish. But Catfish, no, that's my dude right there. But he be saying some crazy ass shit. Catfish, we giving Bud his credit. I don't know if you just came in right now or what. Don't block him. You know what I'm saying? Don't block him. But I don't know if you just came in right now. But we've been giving him his credit the whole time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bud is everything that and one thing I found out about Bud, coach, is that everything we wanted to see. We wanted to see, is this man everything that they saying he is? And he is. Everything that they saying he is. It's not, you can't say that he's no longer ain't fought nobody. You can't say that he just performing like this is because he in the ring with C and B level fighters. No, he is everything that everybody said he is. But one thing about it is that if you're trying to compare the Shawn Porter and Errol Spence fight with Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter, that is two different styles. Errol Spence fought Shawn Porter in his style. He wanted to be rough and try to brawl with Shawn Porter. And I'm going to tell y'all, right? Errol Spence went in there and he tried to brawl with Shawn Porter and fight Shawn Porter's fight, right? But the thing is Errol Spence wasn't physically prepared to fight that style of fight with Shawn Porter. Errol Spence was not physically prepared. He didn't physically prepare himself like he should have if he wanted to go in there and out brawl. He did it. He still did it. Don't get me wrong.
Hold on, Key. I'll be right back.
All right. He still was able to go in there and beat Shawn Porter at his game. But he wasn't physically prepared to go in there and out brawl Shawn Porter and make it look easy. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because he didn't prepare outside of the ring like he should have prepared if he had intentions on going in there and trying to out brawl Shawn Porter. If he had intentions on going in there trying to out brawl Shawn Porter, he should have did his strength and conditioning. He should have did everything that he was supposed to do leading up to the fight, but he didn't do that. Is that anybody else's problem but his? No, that's his problem. You dig what I'm saying? That's his problem. Ain't nobody making excuses for him, but these are just facts. That's what I'm saying. These are facts. So if you're trying to compare Errol Spence's performance and Shawn Porter's and Crawford's performance, you can't make that comparison, right? At the end of the day, these are two different style matchups. Errol Spence don't have the defensive flaws that Shawn Porter has. Errol Spence is much more defensively responsible. Errol Spence pressure is controlled pressure, and he goes about it a whole different way than Shawn Porter do. Errol Spence go to the body, right? He stalks you down a whole different way than Shawn Porter do. And Errol Spence is a southpaw himself. So, Terence Crawford switching to southpaw, he's not going to be effective like that with Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different stylistic matchup. And like I said, Errol Spence is really sharp himself. He times you himself. So when Bud Crawford make mistakes and all of that, he can't get wild with Errol Spence and afford to do that like he was doing with Shawn Porter. Everybody knows that Shawn Porter don't have no power. Shawn Porter is an arm puncher. He's very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? He can catch you, but he's an arm puncher. He don't sit down on his punches. You know what I'm saying? Because he's more of a fighter that's, he throw a lot of punches at one time. And he don't sit down on none of his shit. And they all arm punches. Errol Spence is a much different fighter.
He should have bounced all night. That's what he should have did. When he was bouncing, he was confusing Bud, and that's why he was winning rounds. When he was bouncing in and out, making Bud throw punches before he even get there and commit. And then when Bud would throw a punch, then would go in. That's what he should have done. Before what he started doing was just lunging in. He wasn't bouncing. You saw when he was bouncing on his toes, faking like he going in, then bouncing, and Bud would commit, then he would go. So right. He stayed out of his he didn't follow his game plan that he should have stuck to. So, but I'm not taking nothing away from Bud. Bud's great fighter, man. I enjoyed it.
Because part of that was Bud Crawford making certain adjustments to make him stop doing that. And it was mental. It was really mental, right? It was really mental. Bud started, catching him with them body shots, and he was more frustrating Shawn Porter. And the more frustrated Shawn Porter got, the more Shawn Porter started trying to come in and get his lick back and throwing his defense out the window. So we got to give a lot of that credit to Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford's ring IQ. We go back to the ring IQ once again, because Crawford, right? He saw that he couldn't catch Shawn Porter up top like he wanted to, so he started going to his body. He started timing Crawford, and when Crawford would come in and Shawn Porter would move his head, his body ain't gonna move. So he started catching him with them hooks and then uppercuts to the body. And that's all on Terence Crawford's ring IQ. But see, Shawn Porter, being the veteran that he is, Shawn Porter is supposed to make adjustments. Shawn Porter is supposed to say, okay, he's doing this now, right? Now I got to do this. But Shawn Porter never did that. He let his motherfucking frustration get to him, and he started getting more wild, and he threw his whole game plan out of the window instead of making an adjustment, right? But he never did. So to me, ultimately, this fight came down to who has the better ring IQ and who's going to be able to stay calm and stick to what you know what I'm saying, and stick to the script, right? And Crawford showed that his ring IQ, during adversity, no matter what, he was able to still think, still come up with, you know what I'm saying, switch up to different game plans. And all of that is ring IQ. And to me, really, he won just by having a much better ring IQ. And you know what I'm saying? He won that fight by having a much better ring IQ than Shawn Porter.
They frustrated each other in that fight, though.
But one got frustrated and went back to the game plan, right?
Right.
And the other got frustrated and threw everything that he knew out of the window and just started coming in there and fighting wild. And that was the difference in the fight. That was the difference in the fight to me, coach, because I'm talking about, I'm watching everything. I'm watching every blow, every time, you know what I'm saying, they move their feet, every angle, you know what I'm saying? And one thing that I liked about Crawford, he was showing that his footwork could keep up with Shawn Porter's footwork. When Shawn Porter would come in, he would spin, he would turn Shawn Porter, and he would try to catch him with that check hook. You know what I'm saying?
Bud feet is fucking superb, bro.
Yeah,
he got great, bro.
And he's able to.
You there's things to negate the check hook that Shawn Porter didn't do. You know what I'm saying? And he kept doing it over and over and over. And I was like, bro, why you keep doing this? You keep on lunging in instead of stepping in, but doing it quick and stepping to your left instead of. That's how come Bud was check hooking him, spinning him out of trouble. You know, this was. It just showed that. But when Bud got frustrated, he adjusted and he stayed in the southpaw stance. He didn't switch up because when he was conventional, he was getting beat. Shawn Porter was beating him when he stayed in conventional. He was getting beat. That's why he stayed in the southpaw stance. He fights better. His foot movement is better from that side than it is from conventional.
Yeah, it is. But see, one thing that I noticed, like you said, coach, when Shawn Porter was doing them little football movements, you know what I'm saying, doing them angles and then spinning and going inside, he was able to get inside kind of easy on Bud and trap Bud. You know what I'm saying? He was able to do it kind of easy. It wasn't even that difficult, but he stopped doing it. And I think a reason that he stopped doing it is because, like I said, Bud made the adjustment. Ring IQ. That's what a lot of people don't understand what ring IQ is. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what's happening in the ring and making those adjustments, those small adjustments. And Bud made that adjustment and start going to Shawn Porter's chest.
That and not getting frustrated. That and not getting frustrated. You have to control your emotions in a boxing match.
Right.
And Shawn didn't control his emotions. That was the problem.
Exactly. And Shawn Porter didn't control his emotions, and Bud Crawford controlled his emotions. You know what I'm saying? Even
frustrated Bud early in that fight, though. I
was just finna say, even though earlier on in that fight, he was getting frustrated. You know what I'm saying? You start, but he was able to calm down. Whatever Bo Mack was telling him in the corner, you know what I'm saying? He was able to calm down, and he was able to get back to the game plan. And then you could see when Bud started really, really locked in and he focused, right? And you could see Bud knew that he had Shawn Porter. He knew it because he's like, okay, I'm catching this dude. I'm starting to catch him now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to continue to go to his body and I'm going to start catching him now because now he's getting more wild. He's seeing that shit. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? If you really locked in on the fight when you're watching it, you can see their eyes. And like me, I can see everything going on. And I can see what the fighter is thinking. And you can see that Bud Crawford was thinking the whole time, like, okay, yep, I'm going to catch him. Stay calm. He going to continue to keep jumping in here wild. You know what I'm saying? He's not using his angles no more. And I'm going to catch him. And that's all Bud was doing. He was just waiting to catch him. And he started catching him. You know what I'm saying? And Shawn Porter he never changed the game plan. He never made an adjustment. Once he threw his game plan out the window, he never went back to it. He never made the adjustment. And he continues to do the same thing over and over. Go in there, you know what I'm saying? Square it up, run up in there, chin up in the air, throwing wild ass overhands. And then fucking, you know what I'm saying, ducking all the way to the ground, coming up with another wild ass overhand, and he wasn't even responsible defensively. He wasn't even bringing his hand back. And Crawford was just sliding back a little bit and catching him every time coming in there. And that's what happened. So it was skills and ring IQ. It was the skills in his ring IQ that ultimately won the fight. Now, definitely Shawn Porter could have he was cool. He could have continued on like nothing. He was cool.
Yeah, if you can bang.
And that's what really pissed me off, man. That's what really Kenny Porter really pissed me off, man. And a lot of people think that Kenny Porter had bet on the fight. A lot of people like, man, Kenny Porter bet on that stoppage. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying?
I don't believe that.
I mean, like, yeah. I can't say that man bet on the stoppage or none of that. But at the end of the day, what I can say is that, man, Kenny Porter, bro, you don't do no shit like that. I mean, as far as Shawn Porter has gone, why are you gonna throw the towel in? And the man is showing you that he cool. But I think that Kenny Porter, well, I know that Kenny Porter is a control freak. I know I would never say it on here, but I know some things behind scenes. And the man is a control freak. And I think it was that Kenny Porter was more pissed off that Shawn Porter wasn't listening to him. And Shawn Porter started doing his own thing, going in there, trying to get his lick back, right? Not fucking using common sense, threw all of his boxing knowledge out the window. And Kenny Porter wanted to make an example out of Shawn Porter. And he showed you that in the post-fight interview. He showed you. Kenny Porter wanted to make an example.
That's some low-down shit right there, though. You know,
that's why Kenny Porter threw in the towel. Kenny Porter didn't throw in the towel because Shawn Porter couldn't continue and all of that. He threw in the towel because he wanted to make an example out of Shawn Porter and tell Shawn Porter, look, you don't want to fucking listen. This is what happens when you don't listen to what the fuck I'm telling you. That's how Kenny Porter is. This is what happens when you don't listen and you want to go out there and do your own thing. We seen it in the build-up to the fight. When Kenny Porter was training him and he would get frustrated. It show him like, hey, you want to come in here and you want to try to do your own thing. This is the outcome. So I think him throwing in the towel was more so him showing Shawn Porter, bro, you want to get out. I done told you whatever I'm telling you, and you want to come out here and continue to do your own thing. Okay, bet. I'm going to show you that I'm still in control of the situation, right? Bet. Get your ass up out of the ring since you didn't want to listen. That's more so what it was. Kenny Porter, he wants to be in control of the situation. And the thing is that I love the father-son, father training his son, right? But you got to learn how to separate being his father while y'all in the ring together and being his coach. You know what I'm saying? And being his trainer.
My thing was, Andre Ward made a good point when he spoke on that. That wasn't right. That wasn't right for him to do that to his son on TV. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't cool. He should have just said, you know what? I saw my son. He didn't look right. I stopped the fight. But for him to say the things he said on national television, to be honest, it was his preparation. And not listening and not want to do, but that's something that you and your son should discuss. You shouldn't put that out in the public and saying shit like that. The fight was already over with. You and him could have talked about the shit later on, the next day or that night or whatever the fucking case may be. But you don't embarrass your fucking son, who's pretty much, now don't get me wrong, you help him get rich. But if he would have had another trainer, he probably would have been rich because of his drive, because of the thing, his abilities. So there's no need for you to embarrass him like that. That's fucking suck, a grown ass man, and he's in his fucking 30s. You don't do that. That shit was embarrassing. I felt terrible for Shawn because he's the one out there taking the fucking punches. He's the one out there that's got to fucking do all this hard ass work. So you don't do shit like that. That was fucking uncalled for. And I was like, I can't believe this man is saying this shit on national television about his fucking kid who'd have made you a fucking rich man, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's not about the money, but it's about respect for your son. You know,
Right.
it's about respect. And that shit was terrible, bro. He shouldn't have did that shit. He shouldn't embarrass his fucking son like that.
It was terrible, bro. And salute to my man D-Lo 404 Boxing. What's happening with it, D? Yo, you on mute. But so anyway, man.
Thank you, huh?
Yeah, well, salute to you, D-Lo.
Hey, what's going on, man? Y'all doing all right today?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you cook, but let me get this point across, right?
Go ahead, man.
And the reason I say that it was more so Kenny wanted to show, like, hey, you ain't fucking listening. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you I'm still in control. Because what he did to Shawn Porter afterwards, right? That's why I said that. He showed what he did to Shawn Porter afterwards, right? He showed what he did to Shawn Porter afterwards, you know what I'm saying, and how he embarrassed Shawn Porter in front of the world. He showed that. And Kenny said one thing leading up to the fight, right? Because Kenny was asked about Shawn Porter doing all of these, commentating gigs and the podcast and all of that. And he said that he didn't like Shawn Porter doing all of that, right? But he said that, Shawn Porter was, what did I say? I think he said disciplined enough to know, but he said he didn't like all of that. And I think when he busted Shawn out in front of the whole world, I think that was a part of what he was saying when he was saying Shawn Porter didn't prepare like he was supposed to. He said, and then, it's a lot. He was probably aggravated with Shawn leading up to this fight. Remember, he said, hey, you know what I'm saying? We'll be in the gym and Shawn Porter would be looking up at the clock, focusing on how much longer he would have to be in the gym instead of focusing on what we had to do. Now, what Kenny Porter was saying, he probably right what he was saying. But at the end of the day, you don't say that shit in front of the whole world. You don't do your son like that. You don't do that. And that let me know that what leading up to the fight, the shit that Kenny was frustrated about, and then in the fight, when Shawn Porter stopped listening to him and doing his own thing, Kenny wanted to make an example out of Shawn. Like, I bet you ain't fighting. Nope, I'm throwing in the towel. That's why he threw in the towel. It ain't because Shawn couldn't fight no more. He was hurt. And a lot of people saying, well, what was about to happen? We can't go off of what was about to happen. Newsflash, this is boxing. We know what these fighters sign up for. We seen Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, and Tommy Hearns. Riddick Bowe and Holyfield. We've seen great fights. We've seen fighters take punishment, come back, make adjustments, and continue to fight on. If you stop a fight every time a fighter get in some danger or go down on the canvas, we'll never see a motherfucking great fight. If this is what boxing has come to, and I'm talking about everybody that's trying to take up for this saying, oh, well, what would have happened? We can't go off of what would have happened in boxing. The man was okay. You got to give a man a chance to continue to fucking fight on when he's showing you that he's okay. We can't go off of what would have happened. Oh, he did it. No. If y'all are on some bullshit like that, well, I'm going to tell y'all, boxing ain't the sport for you to be watching. You know what I'm saying? Boxing ain't the sport for y'all to be watching if you are okay with fights being stopped like that. Because we've seen, myself personally, I done seen hundreds and thousands of fights. And we done seen fighters take way, way more punishment than that. We done seen fighters be way, way more hurt than that, continue to fight, and come back and shock the world. You didn't give that man a chance to do that. But I'm going to let D-Lo cook, and then we're going to talk about Shawn Porter's retirement. We're going to get to that subject, but I'm going to let D-Lo cook, and then we're going to get to that. So, D-Lo, what's happening with it?
Hey, what's good, man?
What's happening with you, man?
I feel several ways about the stoppage. Immediately when it happened, my first inclination was that the fans and both fighters were robbed of the opportunity of seeing this fight come to a natural conclusion. Terence Crawford was robbed of the opportunity to get a righteous stoppage that he may have been looking for. Shawn Porter was robbed of the opportunity to go out on his shield, if you will, and us fans were robbed of the opportunity to see what would have happened. Because like you said, we don't know what would have happened. We could speculate what we thought we saw going to happen, but we just don't really know. I personally feel like it was inevitable. It was only a matter of time, but I can't say that definitively. When it comes to, what Kenny said, I definitely don't feel like that was a place for that. That's a conversation he could have with Shawn in private when Shawn asked him, "Hey, Dad, why'd you stop the fight?" You gotta have some integrity, when it comes to your personal relationship with your son. And not only just being his son, even if that was just another fighter that he's training, their relationship should matter more than just giving the people with a mic in front of your face the answer that just pops in your head right away. For me, I felt like, maybe Kenny stopped the fight because of what he saw happening. Because what happened when the knockdown happened, it didn't just come out of nowhere. That fight had turned, and Bud had got to a point where he was teeing off on Shawn pretty regularly. Shawn wasn't defending himself very well, and to me, I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm saying, okay, Bud's starting to run downhill on this kid. But at the end of the day, we still didn't get to see how that would have played out. And I feel like we were cheated in that aspect. But I'm not going to dogpile on Kenny about what he did. That's Kenny's son. That's his fighter. He did what he felt like he needed to do at that time. As for what's going on between them behind the scenes and all that, I reserve enough respect for them to kind of stay out of all that. But I can say that from what they were showing us going into the fight, Kenny was, I felt like he was embarrassing Shawn when in the videos they were showing in the training, the way he was talking to him and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But even after seeing all that, I didn't think that he would say the things he said. Even if he threw in the towel, I didn't think he would say the things that he said when the fight got stopped. I mean, that caught me off guard to hear him say what he said about his son. Whether that's true or not, it was out of place. It was disrespectful to him. To me, it was demeaning and belittling. And to me, when he said what he said, it was as if he was talking about a 13 or 14-year-old kid, not a 34-year-old grown man. And I take issue with that. But at the end of the day, there are bigger things going on in the world, there are bigger things going on in the sport. So I'm not going to just belabor that point on and on and on, because my focus right now is on what's next for these guys. And in terms of Porter, if he's really going to retire and stay retired, what's he going to do after that? Because I'm a fan of Shawn Porter, the person as well as the fighter. But then the same thing, what's going to happen with Bud? But the last thing I want to say, man, about that whole situation with the Porters is that, Kenny has other fighters. And, I'm thinking about from the aspect of these other fighters, how are they looking at this situation? Because he doesn't have the connection with these other fighters that he's in charge of that he does with his own son. So I think that with that being the case, I mean, he may have kind of made some antennas go up on these other fighters that he's in charge of, because if he'll throw his son under the bus like that on national TV, who knows what he'll do if he's upset with one of these other fighters and, and gets asked a question. Does he just matter of factly just come out and say, "Oh, the kid ain't doing what I want him to do"? I just don't feel like he's preparing right or whatever. I don't like that look from any trainer, but it's worse when it's a father-son situation.
Right. And as far as like him in the gym, when they had to film in the gym and people saying that he was embarrassing Shawn, like in the gym, however you talk to him in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been together y'all whole life. However he got to talk to his son in the gym, I don't have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, I mean, if he's still with you after all them years, that's on Shawn. Shawn is a grown ass fucking man.
Well, my issue with Keon is just the fact that it was actually put into the build up of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they got some say on what gets put out, and I just don't feel like that part had to be in there. But you know, I respect your opinion on it, though, man.
Yeah. So I mean, well, if they in the gym working and you know what I'm saying, I've seen it plenty of times. That's just what it is. If you let him, you know what I'm saying, that if Shawn cool with it, well, shit, I ain't really got nothing to say about it, you know. But after the fight, what he did, you don't do that. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then you could tell everybody could see that Shawn Porter was pissed off because he stopped the fight. But Shawn Porter, he's so respectful to Kenny, he took up for Kenny still. Well, you know, and Shawn Porter wanted to say something different to Kenny than what he was saying. But Shawn Porter was so respectful, he took up for Kenny because he knew that they was in front of the whole world and people were finna dog walk all over Kenny. And he took up for Kenny.
You know what's funny though, Keon?
Yeah.
What's funny is this. Shawn was so frustrated after that fight. His daddy didn't know he was going to announce his retirement. Shawn said, I already had it in my mind, win, lose, or draw. I was going to retire after this fight. But if he would have won, he may not have. But Kenny pissed him off so bad last night by embarrassing him, he just announced the shit on the stage. Just think about that.
Yeah.
You pissed your son off. You pissed your son off so bad. You know, nothing is more important than your child and your relationship. And you're gonna embarrass your son on in public like that on television, for the world to see. You know, if it would have been a different type of person, you know, he could have. You know, Shawn is just such a respectful person. You know, he's classy, bro, and you gotta give him that. He's a classy kid. But for, you know, anybody else would have been like, if that wasn't his dad, he might have been like, you know what the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that shit was just not the time or the place. And Andre Ward explained it real well. Why would you say that in front of everybody? It's not the time or the place for that. You stopped it because you thought Shawn was, you know, he was hurt or this and that, which to me, both shots that he took was because his feet was together. He wasn't hurt. He got complacent and started jumping in, and Bud timed him. But it was because when he jumped in, his feet are together. His feet are parallel. His base is not there. And he got caught and he went down. But anytime he's beating on the canvas because he's mad at himself, because he know that these two knockdowns probably cost him the fight. That was his mentality. But it's because you got complacent and Bud took advantage of it. Bud is a fucking warrior. He's a great fighter. Both of those guys are warriors. And for Shawn to go through his whole career being a true warrior, and you gonna throw the fucking towel in on him when he's not hurt. People could say could have stopped him. He was gonna stop him. You don't know that. Shawn might have fucking started making adjustments. He's a warrior. We saw him get hurt before and come right back and be fucking in the mix. So he's a true warrior. And for you to end his career like this was not fair to him because he wasn't hurt. You can tell when a fighter is hurt. Caleb Plant was fucking hurt.
Yeah, like he was hurt. He was done. He was cooked.
Right, he was hurt. Shawn Porter wasn't hurt. Shawn Porter was pissed off at himself for not doing what he was supposed to do. That was the problem with Shawn Porter.
And Shawn Porter hopped up. When he jumped, when he hopped up, his legs was under him. He was steady. He wasn't wobbly. He was just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, damn. Damn, man, shit, I'm good. Yeah, like, come on, I'm good.
Hey, can I speak to that for a minute?
Yeah.
I spoke about this also earlier last night, rather. You know, I'm not gonna say he wasn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, but
You could tell.
I will say that Kenny's never seen Shawn get knocked down 2 times in a span of less than 30 seconds in a professional fight before. So that was a first for Kenny. That was a first for Shawn. Now, the other thing about that is we all been watching boxing long enough to know that when a fighter gets hurt or when a fighter gets dropped, what are they supposed to do? You know, if they want to continue fighting, they are supposed to get up, step to the ref, let the ref know they can go and that they want to continue. Shawn did everything but that. You know, so
you gotta watch it though.
Let me finish my point, man. Shawn did everything except get up and step to the ref. When Shawn laid on the canvas, beating on the canvas like a toddler, then when he got up, he turned his back to the ref and was still, motioning, you know, how upset he was, frustrated, embarrassed, anger, whatever emotion he was going through, he still didn't do what you're supposed to do if you want to continue in a fight. So in a way, Shawn didn't help himself. Nobody talks about that. You know, Kenny's looking at all of this before he gets up on the apron. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back and watch it. I'm telling you, Shawn did not get up and turn to the ref and step to the ref as if he wanted to continue to fight. I'm not saying Shawn quit. I'm not saying he's a quitter. I'm just saying in this case, Shawn didn't help himself or give his dad more to look at in terms of saying that, hey, let's go, Dad. I'm ready to do this. So, you know what I'm saying? I think Shawn bears a little fault in this as well, but nobody's talking about it. It's all about Kenny, and rightfully so, because Kenny, you know what I'm saying? Even the stoppage ain't even a thing. What Kenny said afterward takes away from everything that happened before that. You know, so it overshadows the whole fight. And that's what everybody's talking about going forward is the fact that he stopped the fight, but they're talking about it more so because of his statements after stopping the fight, because it almost seems like he stopped the fight out of vindictiveness.
Yeah. It was kind of vindictive for him to do that shit. But you got to look at it. Shawn was going to the corner, which when you get knocked down, you usually go to the corner, whatever corner's closer, and then you turn around, you look at the ref, he's going to give you whatever count, he's going to check in, going to wipe your gloves off, he's going to come back. But by the time Shawn was walking to that corner, Kenny was up on the apron. Kenny was done. He was done. You know, and I understand that he saw him get knocked down twice, but regardless, you got to put your trainer hat on, not your fucking dad hat, and say, you know what? He's not hurt. He wasn't hurt. You know when a fighter is hurt. You saw how he got knocked down. Both his feet were together. It happened twice because of lunging in. And then when he come down, Bud crack him and he's off balance. So he goes down. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if he would have stopped him or not stopped him. And it was close to the end of the round. So I don't know if he would have stopped him or not stopped him, but at least give us the opportunity to see a true warrior who we watched over the years. I mean, if he'd have been started taking a beating, have the towel in your hand, ready to throw it in to protect him. You know what I'm saying? But for you to do that on a kid like Shawn Porter, a person who's shown us that he's ready to war till the end, you know, have the towel ready. Don't just fucking, that's it. Because he got knocked down twice, you never fucking know what's going to happen. Especially when you know he's not hurt. You can see it. Nobody's going to punch on the fucking canvas out of frustration because he's hurt. He's not hurt. You don't think like that when you get hurt. When you get hurt, you fucking trying to get your shit to function right. You trying to get your legs to function right. Not what's wrong with his legs.
Bro, the first time he got hit in the he hit him in the chest. Hit him right here in the top of the chest. The second time, with Shawn Porter was ducking all the way down to the ground, Bud cuffed him behind the head. I'm trying to find it so I could play it, so I could play these knockdowns.
Yeah, it actually looked like Shawn was already going down on that second knockdown. I hadn't went back and really looked at it over again, but I remember when it happened, it looked like he was already on his way down, and Bud actually missed the punch that looked like it knocked him down from my vantage point in first sight. You know, so I don't know why he was already going down.
What you have to watch is his feet.
Gotcha.
Or together.
Let me read this super chat.
He's parallel.
Let me read this super chat. Alamon Cruz says the ref went to Porter and said, "Do you want to continue?" And Porter said, "Yes." He was ready to continue. He was good. Like, I mean, Shawn Porter was not hurt in no type of way to where he couldn't continue. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't hurt in no type of way to where he couldn't continue to fight. And he didn't have his senses under him. And salute to you, man, in that super chat coming through. But I'm trying to find it. Y'all can go ahead and cook. I'm gonna find this clip and I'm gonna play it for everybody to see.
Right. If you watch, you must watch his feet placement on both times. Both of the times when he lunged in, when he landed his feet, he didn't have you. When you got 1 foot up and 1 foot back, you got somewhere to brace yourself. He didn't have nothing to brace him. He ended up getting knocked down because his feet were together. What I mean by together, not together, they were parallel. So that's how coming. If you put your feet together, it's easy to push somebody down, even punch them down if their feet are parallel. So
here it is. I found
both times his feet were parallel. So that makes
a big difference. That makes a big difference. And you know, the one thing about father-son trainer combinations is that, you know, we've seen over the years where some fathers let their sons go to, like, it wasn't like it was a fight earlier this year. I can't remember what the kid's name was, but his dad refused to stop the fight, and the fight went like 3 rounds more than it should have. And then on the flip side of that, you got some fathers who are going to, out of love and protection for their son, might stop a fight prematurely. I think in this case, you know what I'm saying, I'm not arguing or disputing that. I feel like Kenny stopped the fight prematurely. And even if the fight was ended in this round naturally, I'd have rather seen that, or rather seen it go however it play out. I would have rather seen that than Kenny doing what he did. But, you know, Kenny did what he did. And like I said, what he said after that really messes it all up, man.
Right. That solidified everything. That solidified Kenny fucking being a dick, pretty much. Kenny being a fucking control freak. That's Coach, what it solidified.
Coach, so D-Lo, what I'm gonna do, y'all, is I'm gonna put this knockout. I'm gonna put both of the knockdowns on the screen so we can all go back and watch it. I'm gonna put this on the screen. I'm gonna play it so we can all go back and watch it. Let me see. Hold on. Make sure. Can y'all see it good?
Yeah, I see it fine.
Okay, cool. Hold on. Let me
look at his feet.
Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Okay.
See his feet? They squared up.
So right there.
Squared up.
Yeah, he squared up and he hit him in the chest.
There. Now look at his feet. They squared up. Look at his feet. That's how he got caught.
He landed the shot in the chest. Bam. Right there in his chest.
But his feet aren't together. They're not together though.
No, what I meant, like I said, they're parallel. He don't have 1 foot up and 1 foot back to where he can keep his balance.
He don't have anything to brace himself when he starts to go back.
That's what I'm telling you. His feet are together. His feet are parallel.
He picked his whole foot up off the ground. Look at him. Look, his foot off the ground when he's stepping, and he caught him. Right. Bam! That's a timing shot. That's a timing knockdown.
Hell of a shot.
Right, but it wasn't nothing that hurt him. And he did it again,
Now this is the second knockdown. Caught him right there. He ducked it, come around, and see.
Okay, so he was going down from the shot like 3 punches ago before the knockdown.
So look, let's run that back.
That's the shot that hurt him right there.
Yeah, let me run it back further.
Everything else missed.
But
his feet parallel. See, his feet still parallel.
So he got hit.
Balance. Now, don't get me wrong.
But overhand, bam, right there.
That's right. That's right around.
That's number missed. And then he cuffed him behind the head.
I don't even think that shot landed, Keelan.
Yeah, it grazed him.
That one hurt. See, he parallel. His feet are parallel again, and that's Shawn Porter's problem. And Bud.
And see, there was a cuffing shot behind the head. You see it? It grazed him.
Like it hit his braids.
It grazed him.
But because your
Look,
feet,
right there.
you don't have 1 foot up, 1 foot down.
See?
Your
It cuffed
he ain't
him
hurt.
behind the head with him.
See that? Shawn wasn't hurt, bro.
And see, look, he cool.
Shawn wasn't hurt.
Look, he cussing at himself like, man, fuck.
See his feet? Look at his feet. He don't have 1 foot up, 1 foot down. He's parallel. That's why he keep getting caught. And Bud timed him. So that's the problem. He's off balance. And see, that's the difference between Errol Spence and everybody else. Errol Spence always in position to punch. His feet never, ever, ever get parallel.
Now let's look at coach. Now let's look at the knockdown and let's look at the reaction, his reaction to the knockdown once he gets knocked down.
Right.
Let's look at this again. Bam, a cuffing shot behind the head. It grazing. He up, he cool. You want
Dude
to
ain't
fight
hurt,
there.
man. Nigga's mad more than anything.
And he turned around like, what?
Now he pissed. Look at him. He's looking at the ref. He gonna back up. He missed. He's pissed. And then look at Kenny.
So there it is, right
He
there.
came to the referee. So
Hey, Keon, you just skipped my favorite part of the fight.
What was that?
Bud danced with his mama in the ring.
Hey man, but we can see the dude not hurt, bro. He not hurt. You don't let a fighter like that. You don't let a fighter like Shawn Porter not continue. That was not right. You don't. A person who's been a warrior his whole career, and even if you know this is his last fight, bro, you don't do that shit, bro.
Yeah, I don't think Kenny knew it was his last fight. I don't think, and I honestly don't think Shawn
he didn't.
I don't think Shawn would have retired if he won this fight, because especially if that Spence fight was right there, I don't think he walks away. Especially bad as he been wanting that rematch because he felt like he won that fight. I don't think he would have walked away under those circumstances. But if he won this fight, Kenny wouldn't have crapped all over him in the ring either. So you know what I'm saying. But I'll be honest. When I watched it, man, I said, as soon as Kenny said what he said, I said, man, if Shawn continues to fight, he got to get another trainer, because at that point, that relationship as a trainer in charge, that was done. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be his daddy the rest of his life, but I felt like that part right there, that just killed it at the trainer fighter relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad to see Shawn retire though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad to see him. I'm glad to see he retired, and he retired with all his faculties. He's not slurring his words. He's not none of that shit. I'm glad to see it. He's fought everybody. He's done everything. He won some. He lost some. And hats off to Shawn Porter, because he was a fucking true warrior. Now, that's the reason why I'm upset with Kenny Porter, is because Shawn Porter over the years has given us nothing but pure action that we enjoy, that we fucking said, man, I don't care who Shawn fight, he gonna fucking bring it. He's a warrior. I appreciate him. I love Shawn Porter. God bless you, brother. And continue success in being an analyst and on these stations, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. And you have really enlightened my boxing fan relationship with, as far as that goes, because he's always been a warrior. And that's the reason why I'm upset with Kenny Porter more than anything. Not a fighter like that. You don't do that to a fighter like that. Now, if he had been hurt, everybody can clearly see he was not hurt.
And clarify what we say when he wasn't hurt. When we say he wasn't hurt, yeah, he got hit with a shot that hurt him, right? But he wasn't hurt to where he didn't have his feet up under him to where he couldn't continue, to where he wasn't all the way there to continue. That's what we mean by he wasn't hurt like that. He was
just like when Broner knocked him down. When Broner knocked him down, he wasn't hurt. It was a flash knockdown. He got up and continued. When Errol Spence knocked him down, he wasn't hurt. It was a flash knockdown, and that was it. You know, it happens all the time in the gym. People don't see that side of people when people training. Sometimes The fighter who's preparing, he could be a world champion. Sometimes he get knocked down in the gym. Look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson got knocked the fuck down. What's the one was crying in the fucking ring?
Oliver McCall.
Oliver McCall knocked Tyson ass down in training, bro.
Yeah.
It happens, but that don't mean he was hurt. And that's the difference. You know when a kid is hurt. You know when his faculty's not there, his legs are not there. Amir Khan gets hurt when he get fucking hit. You can look at his legs. Shawn Porter legs not gone, man. He made mistakes and got and paid the penalty. That's it.
My man, like my man, Diverse Conscious said, his faculties were still all in order. If you can see that the fighter's faculties are still all in order, you let the fighter continue to fight, especially on that level.
Right.
Not no fight like that.
High
you
stakes.
Never know what's gonna happen. He could have clipped Bud. You never know.
Oh, if we and that's what I was saying, D-Lo. If we saw shit like this in boxing all the time, we would never see great finishes and great fights like this.
Oh yeah.
Hey, see a great
Keelan, you know what? That's the same thing I say about, and I don't want to change the topic. I just want to get this out.
Hold on, bro. Let me say one thing.
Go ahead.
Ride 2496. He said, Bud definitely hurt Porter. I've got mad respect. Porter, but Kenny stopped it for the right reasons, as if you went into the 11th. Bud would have smelled blood and stopped him. Well, guess what? We don't know that. And I've seen fighters winning fights, and they fucking go up in there and smell blood, and they start fucking throwing punches, and then they get caught. So we don't know.
No, we don't know.
We don't know. We should have been able to see it.
Now, what was you saying, D-Lo?
Well, just like you said about, you know, what all the stuff we wouldn't have got to see if that was the norm in boxing, to stop fights in those situations. Right. So, right, in amateur boxing, it's a little bit of trouble. Okay, wait, you know, that's it. But, you know, the thing I said, what I was going to say, the parallel to that is, that's the same mentality I got when I hear people talking about who has he fought? You know, what has he done to deserve his fight? And all of that stuff like that. You know how many great fights we wouldn't have seen over the years if when John the Beast Mugabe wanted to fight Marvin Hagler said, who has he beat? He ain't even in my weight class. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot. You know, like I hate how sissified, you know what I'm saying, things in boxing have gotten to where it's like fans echo the sentiment of these boxers. Like when Canelo said Andrade is a horrible fighter, you got other boxers echoing it. You got fans echoing it, and that's a good enough excuse. Now the guy don't deserve a fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's just on and on. My thing is, I think, you know what I'm saying, it's something that I got from Tupac, but I think boxing eats his babies. You know what I'm saying? It's like these fighters together are the sum of the sport, and they sit there and they tear down their own sport by tearing down these other fighters and basically neglecting them of opportunities that only build them up. You know what I'm saying? Like this fight here, we're not going to talk about this fight as if it was just some Bud showcase. We're going to talk about it as a great fight between two great fighters. It doesn't matter that Shawn Porter lost the fight. Look at Hagler Hearns. That fight went, 2 rounds? You know what I'm saying? Hearns pretty much got annihilated. But everybody respect the dog that Hearns brought into the fight. Nobody talks about that fight and just dismisses Hearns. They give Hearns his credit and they talk about it being the greatest short fight in boxing history. So my thing is, they got to make the fights, man. It's not about the fighters. It's about the fights. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I hate that part of boxing today. You know what I'm saying? So you're absolutely right when you say, if we start accepting things like that and we just start saying, okay, that's the norm, that's how it ought to be, man, we'll be robbed of so many great finishes and comebacks and all this other stuff that has made boxing great over the years.
Bro, look at the UFC. Look how the UFC, man, we didn't see plenty of times in the UFC. Dude be getting the shit beat out before you know it. Oh shit.
Yeah, in UFC, man, a guy could be getting dominated and kick a guy in the leg and bend his leg backwards. He won the fight.
catch him coming in with a punch and knock him clean out. So it ain't for us to sit up here and say, well, he did it because what would have happened. We don't know what the fuck would have happened. We don't know if Shawn Porter would have been like, okay, let me get back on my shit. Let me stop going in there wild and let me get back to the game plan.
Right.
We don't know what would have happened. So we can't. So these bullshit ass fans that's just haters of Errol Spence or just diehard Crawford. I'm a fan of boxing.
Right.
They just want to say, oh no, he did it because that's what would happen. No, that's you saying that because that's what you wanted to see. We don't know what would have happened.
And you see that, and you see, Keon, that's what I don't like about this social media shit and me not having a channel because of this. Because of the fact that I'm different, you're different, people are different as far as this. I can have the greatest fighter. I think he's the best. I think he's the creme de la creme. But when motherfuckers avoid fighting each other, I'm a bigger fan of boxing because just like Shawn Porter retired last night, I'm going to still be a fan of boxing. I was a Shawn Porter fan. Of course I was. I'm a Bud Crawford fan. I'm an Errol Spence fan because I think they're great fighters. But I want to know who the fucking best is, period. End of story. I care more about boxing than I do about the individual fighters. Because when it comes down to it, not near one of them giving me part of their purse. None of them.
Right.
So I want to see the best fight the best. I could care the fuck less. All of these, Bud gonna do this, Errol gonna do this, Bud gonna do this to Errol, and Errol gonna do this to Bud. Guess what? We ain't gonna know because if these motherfuckers don't get in the ring.
Facts.
Errol Canelo gonna beat David Benavidez's ass and all of this shit. But guess what? He moving like he don't want no smoke. When David trying to call out everybody under the fucking sun, whoever wants smoke, get some. So I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to see trash fights. I want to see the best fight the best. Once you reach the pinnacle, you should be fighting nothing but elite fighters. Once you went through the bullshit getting to that point.
And I want to say this too, Coach. So, you know what I'm saying, with everybody making these assumptions and everything, I'm not saying that Bud wouldn't have finished him, right?
Right.
I'm saying that I don't know. It's a possibility Bud would have went out there and, you know what I'm saying, Bud would have dropped him again and he would have finished him off. I don't know. But you don't rob us of seeing what happens when you can see both fighters are perfectly fine and they can still continue. They are all right. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't taking nothing away from Bud. Do I think that Bud would have went on to win the fight, whether it was by stoppage or decision? Yeah, I think he would have still went on to win the fight. I picked him to win a close decision. Up until that point, that's what it was. Because I had Crawford, I had Porter in the lead in that fight. But either way, it was very close. On the judges' scorecards, it was very close. You know what I'm saying? I had up until the knockdown, but see, after the two knockdowns, the fight in my eyes still would have been close. I would have had Bud up, but it still would have been close, and it was still a fight that Shawn Porter would have been able to come and win in my eyes. Now, what they had on their scorecards, it is whatever the fuck they had on their scorecards. But everybody could see leading up to that point, that fight was very, very close. So You don't rob us of the fact of seeing, you know what I'm saying, letting this man continue. This man is no fucking rookie. This man is a veteran. You know what I'm saying? And as far as how I feel about the Shawn Porter retiring, I don't know. It's like a lot of people don't believe that what he was saying, but Shawn Porter said, look, he says, I knew I was going to retire after the Errol Spence fight. He says, but I performed so well and I felt that I had a lot left in me after the Errol Spence fight, right? He said, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let me see.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about the situation with the stoppage, man, you know, as boxing fans, we paid our money to see this fight, you know what I'm saying? And I can't help but feel like I got shortchanged of the opportunity of seeing a great fight come to a natural conclusion. You know, and the one thing I want to say about Shawn Porter, you know, I've been hard on Shawn Porter over the years. You know, I've called him a 2-time champion with only 2 successful title defenses. But in reality, part of that has to do with who he was fighting. You know, he was never a guy who took his title and tried to go hide. And there are a lot of fighters who do that. They get a championship and they try to, you know, they're more concerned about having a long reign than they are at putting that title at risk against the very best. So, you know, Porter wasn't that type of guy. And the one thing I will say about Porter in terms of his fights, there were fights that Porter won that he could have lost. There were fights that he lost that he could have won. But the one thing you can't say about any of those fights is that Shawn Porter didn't put his imprint on those fights. Every fight that Shawn Porter was in my opinion, the only fight I felt like Shawn Porter wasn't close, he won that fight, and that was the Ugas fight. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of people who feel the total opposite. But every fight, including this one, you had a lot of close rounds that could have gone either way. I was in a live stream, man. There were people who had Bud up at 1.5 to 2. There were people watching the same fight had Porter up 5-2. Then you had people that had it, you know what I'm saying, 3-4, 4-3. I mean, it was just that type of fight. It just depended on what you like. But at the end of the day, my point is that Shawn Porter is never out of a fight. He's never been outclassed by anybody. He's always, you know, in the fight and just there to bring pain throughout the, you know, if you beat Shawn Porter, you're gonna earn it. And that's really that's what kind of what puts his whole career in microcosm, is that if you got in the ring with Shawn Porter, you better pack a lunch. You better have another lunch with your trainer so they can give it to you when he take that first lunch from you. And you know what I'm saying? And like I said, even with the Ugas fight, I don't feel like it was a matter of being outclassed. I think it was a game plan and execution strategy type flaw that they just weren't in sync. And I felt like they ran out of ideas in that fight early on and they never really got back on track. But at the end of the day, he got the win, and I can't take that away from him. All I can do is say, in my opinion, I didn't feel like he won the fight. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, Ugas didn't make too much fuss about it either. So apparently he felt like the fight was close enough for him to lose.
Yeah, so man, what I was saying about the retirement thing, right, is that how he said that he already had planned to retire after the Errol Spence fight, right? But he said that he felt, you know what I'm saying, after that he made a decision like, man, I got a lot left in the tank. I want one more big fight. So he said ever since the Errol Spence fight, he knew that he was going to retire once he got one more big fight. That's why he said, that's why he started, you know, going after Terence Crawford. Why he was wanting to fight Terence Crawford. That was his last big fight, right, that he wanted. Now he waits and didn't tell nobody this until after the outcome. So a lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people just think that he's just saying it out of frustration or saying it, you know, because, but, well, you have some people say that he's saying it out of frustration and because he was so mad at Kenny Porter, right? You got the Bud diehard fanatics. They're gonna say that Bud beat him up so bad he put him in retirement. So you know what I'm saying. So we hearing this, all of them. And my thing is like, I wish I had known that Shawn Porter was intending on retiring if it is true. You know what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw. He said even if he had a won and they had a rematch clause on Terence Crawford's side or something, he wouldn't have took the rematch. He said even if it's a draw and he thought he would have won, he said he wouldn't have took the rematch. He said no matter what, he was going to retire, right? Now, me, I mean, if that's what he say, I got to take the man for his word, right? But the thing is, what I know is he had retirement on his mind already. And once a fighter got retirement on their mind already, myself personally, I don't give you no chance of winning. Because once a fighter got one foot out the door and ready to go off in the sunset, especially in a fight of this magnitude, I can't pick you to win. Now, I didn't pick him to win, but I gave him a chance to where I was like, you know what I'm saying? This fight could go either way. I said I got Terence Crawford winning the fight by a close decision, but it could go either way. I wouldn't have thought that if I had known, you know what I'm saying, that he already had one foot out the door, was about to retire. You know, so I think that he should have, he should have let some people know about that shit if that's what he had on his mind. Because obviously, one thing that we can all agree on is that he had in his mind retirement. Whether it's this fight or the next fight, he had it in his mind.
Well, he said he had it in his mind for the previous 3 fights. Basically, if he said that going into the Spence fight, you know, and I understand that you can't announce that though. You can't say before the fight that, hey, this is probably gonna be my last fight.
You can say, what I mean is you can say, you know, I'm not looking to fight too much longer, so you know, I might have, you know, this fight or a couple more left in me, something like that.
Yeah, but I just think even that works against you going into a fight, and then also it sways the betting lines and stuff like that as well. You know what I'm saying? And it also, you know what I'm saying, it sways the support you have going into the fight, because this isn't basketball. This isn't like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar making his victory lap around the NBA when he's getting ready to retire. It's the hurt business. You can't go into a fight. You know, it's bad enough that you already got that in your mind, but you definitely don't give that kind of ammunition to your opponent going in, because if you tell me that you don't know if you really want to be in this sport anymore, then that gives me the motivation that I'm trying to make sure that I convinced you early in that fight that you don't belong in this sport anymore.
So what do you think about this? What y'all think about this? Leading up to the fight, he was asked, who do you think the best fighter in the world is? He looked dead in the camera and said, Terence Crawford. Without a hesitation, he says, Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world, in my opinion, right? So the dude said, you ain't going to say yourself? Or now that right there, that like, you don't do nothing like that leading up. How are you asked who's the best fighter in the world and you say the man that you getting in the ring with? How you feel about that, coach?
I mean, I think he said that because if he would have beat Terence Crawford, then he can consider himself the best. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to. I mean, most fighters not gonna say that. You know, that's kind of Shawn is just that type of person, bro. He's just the super respectful person. And I don't never pay no attention to people's words like that, especially elite fighters. Now, fighters that's, you know, like this guy who's fighting Canelo. He's kissing Canelo's behind, all of this shit. I'm gonna knock him, but then says I'm gonna knock him out when he's not around. You know, we know what's gonna happen in this fight. This dude gonna lay down because he know he's not better. So that's just Shawn being respectful. I don't pay no attention into that with elite fighters because I know their mentality is different. Their mentality is when we get in that fucking ring, we gonna fight and we gonna find out who the best is. That's what elite fighters do. And I'm gonna give it all. So I don't pay too much into all of this, all access and all of the interviews. I don't pay no attention to that shit because that shit means nothing. When you step inside that square circle, that's when the rubber meets the road. So I don't pay no attention to all of that shit. And I see it, some of these people up in here, like I said, and it shows a lot of these people who's up in here. It's one thing to have your fighter and say, you know, I think he's going to beat this one and beat that one. But I could care less, bro. I just want to see the fights. I want to see the fucking fights, period. I could care less about what this one say, that one say, or he better than this one, he gonna do this to that one, he gonna do it. All has to be shown. Then we can raise the hand of the best motherfucker in the world. That's what I want to see because that's the era I come from. I don't come from this era. I don't come from the era of motherfuckers just sitting here debating over and over about who gonna win. Motherfucker, let's see it when your fighter don't even want to fight. But in the fighter that I choose to win the fight, he want to fight every fucking body. Bro, this is shit. And like I said before, Shawn Porter deserved the right to fucking fight until Kenny could, like I said, could have had the fucking towel in his hand. He shouldn't have stopped that fucking fight. The boy wasn't hurt. He got knocked down. It wasn't hurt. And there's a difference. So that's what I'm disappointed in because Shawn has earned the right. Like, you ever seen Spartacus? You ever watched that show Spartacus, Keon?
Yeah.
When the dude who wasn't a gladiator tried to kill Spartacus and Crixus killed his ass. And he said, reason I did that, even though I don't like you, you have earned the right to die in the arena at the hands of a gladiator. So that's the thing. He had the right to die in the ring. He had the right to either get beat up or you can be ready to stop it with your towel if he's taking too much punishment. But for it to end the way it did, that was shit. I hated it, bro. Because of Shawn, not because of Kenny. I hated it because of the warrior that we've seen over the years that we can appreciate. And I appreciate Shawn Porter. And may he, God bless him, bro. God bless him. I appreciate him because he never backed down from a fight. He always fought the best. I can appreciate him, bro.
Your boy Cam Newton back. Cam Newton back. Man.
He having a good game.
Let me let me get y'all last words. Let me get y'all last words because I'm getting ready to get up out of here, man. D-Lo, let me get your last words before we get up out of here.
Yeah, man. I just want to say to the fans, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, as you know, regardless of me having a channel or not, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fan just like the rest of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say to y'all, no matter if you are a diehard Bud Crawford fan, Spence fan, Canelo fan, whoever fan, be fans of the sport ahead of these boxers, man. Be a boxing fan over being a boxer fan. You know what I'm saying? This sport has been here for centuries, and it's going to keep going. And a lot of these fighters that a lot of people are just toting the banner for and totally disregarding everything for, these guys are going to come and go, and then there's going to be another crop of fighters come behind them, and the sport's still going to be here. You know, we have to get behind this sport. Some of these fighters are going to move in ways we don't understand, we don't appreciate, we don't respect. But at the end of the day, the sport has my respect. And I just, you know, I just implore y'all to support the sport first. Demand that the best guys fight each other. Don't buy into these excuses these fighters make, these fanboys make, these narratives that the media push, the narratives that some of us on YouTube push. You know what I'm saying? Demand that these fights get made. Do the best you can, you know what I'm saying, to say, I want to see the sport of boxing move forward with or without my favorite fighter, you know, and I want my favorite fighter, like Coach said, I want to see him in that versus the best. Forget how it turns out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those fans that just want to be associated and attach myself to a fighter for the sake of saying, hey, my guy's still undefeated. He would do this to this guy. He would do that to that guy. But the whole time I'm not pushing for him to fight that guy. You know, I just feel like we have an obligation as well because we are the consumer. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be putting on fights that we want to see. You know, don't always support the BS fights just because, you know, your favorite fighter who is retired is now the promoter and he's putting it on. You know what I'm saying? Tell them we want more. You know what I'm saying? That's my position on it, man. But y'all make sure y'all support Keon. You know, y'all share his content. Come through and, you know, hit the like button for him. Sub if you hadn't sub. You know what I'm saying? Just overall, you know, guys with channels like this that's trying to move the sport of boxing forward, man, they deserve our support. That's why I stop through as often as I can. But that's all I got.
Let them know where to find you at, D-Lo.
Hey, right here on YouTube, man. D-Lo 404 Boxing. I appreciate you having me on, man. Hey, Coach, nice chopping it up with you, man.
All right, brother. You too. Take care, man.
All right, y'all be easy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coach, let me get your last words.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, people, don't get me wrong. I got my favorite fighters, but if my favorite fighter's moving like a bitch, I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care less. It could be Errol. I like Errol. I like Bud. But if they ain't fighting the best and one calling for the fight and the other one acting like a fucking girl, I'm going to say it. I can care less because, like I said, I'm not getting a percentage of purse from neither one of these guys. And, you know, I want to see the best fight the best. Now that Errol can't get Ugas, he don't have, and we know how Errol is. He going after the fight, bro. And he's not taking a tune-up. He's not doing none of that shit. Because that's who Errol is. He's a throwback fighter. And neither one of these guys are scared of each other. When I see people in the comments saying that dumb shit, but these fucking dudes is elite fighters, bro. They ain't scared of each other. That's not the fucking case. We had more problems because of promotions and television rights and all this bullshit. And Errol said what he was going to say. But now that he can't get Ugas, he going to fight Crawford. because he want the fucking belts. Win, lose, or draw. He going out there to fight Crawford. So y'all might as well prepare yourself. They're about to fucking fight. We getting what we want finally. It's gonna happen. Y'all might as well get your minds right. And y'all can pull with whoever you want. I could care less. I like both of those guys. I'm a bigger Errol Spence fan because I like the way he moved. And I didn't like Bud being with fucking Bob Arum and not and shelving him and giving them bullshit fights. At this level, the best should fight the best. And that's how I feel. And with this shit that Canelo's doing, y'all know I don't respect it. I've been on here fucking many times. I've been on Money Show many times. I don't respect bullshit fights. That's just who I am because I didn't grow up watching shit like that. So there it is, brothers. Y'all have it easy. Keon, good to have you on. And you need to, I don't know what you're going to do about this Vomax situation, but I know what I would do. We talked about it behind the scene. So it is what it is, bro.
Right. And yeah, you know, I appreciate everybody calling in and y'all pretty much said it all. I talk about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of boxing because at the end of the day, when these fighters that you a fan of and y'all trying to protect, when they go off and retire in the sunset, boxing's still gonna be going on. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan before they was here, and I'm gonna be a fan when they not fighting no more. And it's gonna be other boxers to come along and go. So at the end of the day, you know, y'all smash on the like button. I appreciate everybody for coming in the building, showing love, and we'll be back tomorrow. You know, that's what it is. I appreciate y'all. There you go, talking that boxing again.
Smash
the like button.